What up, though? One Pride. This is the Roar of the Lions UK podcast, a podcast where one pride goes worldwide. My name is Antony Fitzpatrick. I'm joined this evening by Ryan McGlusky, which can only mean one thing. It is time for your weekly dose of college knowledge. Yes, it is the college football podcast. Blow the army man down. And Ryan, you can tell draft season is slowly but surely coming along. The regular season we are waving goodbye to. But you know when draft season is truly here, when you start seeing the smear campaigns against some of the prospects, and ding ding ding, winner this year, Ruben Bain out of Miami. This is when you know stuff's getting serious, when the analysts start getting weird.
Yeah, we're firmly in that period of, I think we've all made up players' minds for them. We've already decided what they're all going to do, where they're going to go in the portal, who they're going to betray, how terrible people they are, and they just all want money because they're greedy. Like I said, but yeah, it's that time of the year where there's a lot of big decisions that will be made the next couple of weeks between the portal opening, the Senior Bowl roster filling out, the Hula Bowl. You've got to make a decision if you're an underclassman who's not playing in their bowl games. Yeah, X is it's a buzz, it's alive, a hive of activity right now.
Yes, it is, and devastating news dropping every few minutes, it seems. 45 minutes ago, got told very bluntly and blatantly that Hollywood Smothers will be leaving NC State this off-season, and I had to watch Casey Conception walk last year. Now I'm having to watch Hollywood Smothers walk my Wolfpack. I'm getting poached by the portal again. Damn it, Dave Doran, please do something for the love of God and get some of these guys back. We cannot lose CJ Bailey. But anyhow, yeah, as we mentioned, the regular season is over. We're in the playoff area now. This is where the awards are done. The portal is open for people to go in. The portal is not open for people to go to other teams yet. You've got to wait till January till players can start committing to other teams, but there's a lot of high profile names going in. We'll take a look at that at the end of the show. We've got a lot to go through in the meanwhile, not so much game wise, but there's plenty going on. The FCS quarterfinals have been and gone. The semis are coming up in a few days, and my oh my, they are telling a story this year. The FBS Playoffs kick off this weekend amidst much scrutiny on the decisions of some teams to be involved and not. We have the awards have been divvied up, college football awards, and then we're going to look through the All-American teams this year, the AP All-Americans for the FBS, the FCS, and we're going to look through Hero Sports' group of 5 ones as well. So we have plenty on the docket, and we get to talk about the Army-Navy game, which was a lot of fun as well. Shout out to Grandizer, who is in the building. Hope you're doing well, Grandizer. I've seen Brent in there as well. As I say, we don't have games or anything to talk about today, so it may not be as long a show as usual. So if you have any questions or topics you want us to discuss, just throw them in there, and we will get to them when we can. We're going to dive right down into it. You know all the housekeeping spiel by now. Roar of the Lions UK, like, follow, subscribe, recommend us, all that good sort of stuff. We really appreciate you for that. But yeah, we've got a lot to go through, and we're going to start, Ryan, in the playoffs. And the FCS playoffs, it feels a minute ago since they started, but we're down to the final 4 teams now, and after very early on Sunday morning, we're going to know what the championship game will be in 2 weeks. And I think it's safe to say, with 2 halves of this board, this is yin and yang. One half of the board is calm, control, stable. The seeds are doing what they're meant to. On the other side of the board, it's yang. It's pure chaos. No one knows what's happening. All the unseeded and low-seeded teams are going through. This is a perfect mesh of Beauty and the Beast.
Yep. One side is going exactly as it's scripted. 125th for all the Wilds was... Everyone was eyeing it up when the draw was made, because the game that happened at the end of the regular season was so incredibly close and it had a big say. So you knew they were destined to have another matchup, which very rarely happens. But on the other side, yeah, like I say, we've had some of the biggest shocks in postseason history in recent years. And it's the fact that, like I said, they weren't flukes, because all the teams that went out there and caused a big upset have continued to take a harder path, all on the road, because like I said, they're a lesser ranked opponent, and prove that they are here, they are legit, and they are trying to make it for potentially first ever title off recent decades. So yeah, one half of the draw should be very worried about the other. Like I say, one half of the draw has got nothing to lose. The other half has got everything to gain.
Oh, we are absolutely going to get a David versus Goliath situation out of this. But I mean, let's start with the crazy side of the board, the one that North Dakota State were expected to dominate and to be the only team who were going to progress from that side of the bracket. And we are going to have a matchup between unranked Illinois State, who will be travelling on the road to number 12 Villanova. Illinois State, Rye, absolutely thwonked UC Davis, the 8th seed, on their own patch, 42-31. But make no mistake of the score, UC Davis scored like 2 touchdowns in the last 2.5 minutes when they were trailing, but they were trailing big in this. The young freshman QB unsettled, and Illinois State now, unranked, have taken out the 16 seed on the road. They've taken out the number 1 seed on the road, and now they've got revenge for last year, because UC Davis were the ones that kicked them out of the playoffs last year, and they've gone to the 8th seed on the road and they've won, and now as a result of their troubles they get to go to number 12 Villanova, who just so happen to sport the longest winning home record in the FCS right now. I believe they're at 22 games consecutive they've won at home. This is probably the hardest path absolutely anyone's taken, but they went to UC Davis and absolutely twonked them after the half. It was they continue to just defy logic. This was a team that had 40 dropped on them by Southern Illinois, I think it was, the week before the playoffs, and were lucky to make it.
Yeah, this is a team that can count its blessings that they got one of the at-large bids and came in unranked, because there were a lot of sides, like say, that would have been vying for that spot. As you say, probably the hardest path anyone could take. 1, on the road. 2, cold conditions. Like I say, it's wintry now, so it's very crisp, it's icy, it's not great for everyone to play in at this time of year. And then 3, like I say, not coming in great form, reeling off a bad loss to enter the playoffs and then first coming up. But yeah, like I said, they're potent secondary, one of the best at taking the ball away in the country, one of the best receivers they've got in the FCS as well. And yeah, it's been a potent mix of defensive takeaways and then good field position for the offense that, yeah, I would have expected UC Davis to start a lot faster, but they were incredibly stifled from the beginning. Like say, Caden Pinnock, and maybe we saw the real freshman in him this week. Like say, he definitely looked at sometimes like he was flustered and there was some potential mistakes there. So I think it was a great matchup. I say good test of how good their defense is against one of the best potent dual threat QBs in the country, and they stood the test. And as you say, scoreline doesn't really tell at all. They did score points late. It was a lot more one-sided in the end, which I definitely thought it would have been. So yeah, one of the biggest surprise factor of the whole playoffs so far. UC Davis will be very disappointed, like I say, to not get out of this quarter of the bracket, which really you've got no excuses for not walking through, if I'm perfectly honest.
No, they've never been past this point of the playoffs before, and it showed. I love the charm of the FCS playoffs in this game when they were kicking field goals. Like behind the posts is like this big ass mound of grass, and all the kids were running up and down trying to catch the field goals as they came, and then the ball would drop and you'd see them all fall down. It's like you'd never see this anywhere else. I'm surprised they allow that, to be honest, because it looks like you could get injured falling all the way down that thing. But just a big crowd of people trying to catch all the extra points that the Illinois State were kicking, which was quite fun. But yeah, they are through, and so are Villanova. Won in the first round at home to Harvard, then took down Lehigh and then they've taken down Tarleton State. Tarleton State, who looked like the form team, they were playing like the form team, the 4 seed. I mean, you've taken out 5 and 4 in a go on the road. I mean, they also are just riding the crest of a wave right now. They're the last team out of anyone left to win an FCS championship, and who knows, just maybe it might be their year again.
Yeah, I mean, they have done tremendously well. Like I say, they got a difficult first game against Harvard, who were an unknown entity coming into the playoffs. They handled that game very well against a Crimson offense that was pretty established. And then, like I say, Tarleton State, one of the most explosive offenses in the country. Like I say, yardage, points per game, right up there, one of the teams in the nation. They put sides away and they score very quickly. A super high tempo offense that, like I say, keeps teams on the back foot. But Villanova have been through this whole process very composed. Like I say, great on both sides of the ball. Like I say, they've been protected it very well, coached very well disciplined. And another team that's handled the conditions without the big fan base behind them. Like I say, also going on the road. And as you say, a former champion. And you kind of wonder if, like I say, if that does help them. Like I say, they have been there, they have done it. Like I say, so they're used to being on the road and travelling. But yeah, it pulls up a fantastic, intriguing matchup of two teams that no one at this point really would have expected to be here. Yeah, and one of these, like I said, may not get this opportunity for another decade. So this is one of those where you can't lose because you just don't know when the next one will be. A lot of teams can bounce back and count on the fact that they'll get here again, but nothing is given in these days. And as you said, this half of the draw has just been a delight to watch and has just been totally off script. And yeah, it'll be a very interesting matchup going into the next round.
Exactly. As I say, it's going to be unranked Illinois State heading to Villanova, and Villanova would not have been expecting a home game at this point of the playoffs again, sporting the longest unbeaten home record going. So this is the team who've taken out the 1 seed playing against the team who have just not lost at home in years now. So going to be really intriguing. That is the fun side. Then we get to the boring side. You were right. We were going to get another Brawl of the Wild there. Montana State and Montana both dispatching with ease their opponents. Montana won 52-22, and Montana State won 44-28. But both teams took like 24-0 leads after no time at all. Make no mistake, the opposition did put some points up here, right? But you know, one team's playing pissed. They lost the last Brawl of the Wild and they're just wrecking everything in their way. And the team that won the Brawl of the Wild is showing why they're the second-ranked team in the nation. No one's really, outside of Yale, stepped up to either of these teams so far. And yeah, they're rightfully there, and it's going to be a hell of a game, going at about $700 a ticket, I think it is at the minute. This is going to get nasty this weekend. Yeah,
this one is going to be very chippy. It was chippy the first time when it was at Washington Grizzly, when it was in Bozeman. This time, like you say, now it'll be in Montana State. Like you say, so it's going to be interesting to defend now. They've got a chance to defend their territory. As you say, both of these, I won't say crews, they found difficult, but they've both comfortably dispatched most opponents. Like you say, Scotlines may not always be close, but they've never felt in real danger. As you say, Montana State, their offense led by Ayat, their QB, had a monster day this week. Like you say, was put up, like you say, near perfect performance, was able to fairly comfortably dispatch South Dakota team that they ain't no slouches. Like I say, they can score, but they fell too quickly behind, and ultimately, when you're playing up there at the altitude in front of that fan base, if you fall behind too quickly, you do feel a bit lost. And like I say, Eric Gilman as well. I believe I saw like this week, if he rushes for exactly 500 yards in the remaining games, I think he will move into like the all-time rusher, like the all-time yardage guy. So he's got a definite personal quest out there to try finish as best in school history as he can. But yeah, one team wants revenge for losing the conference in a tight battle on the last day of the season. The other team is out there to prove that, like I say, why they belong here, why they were able to get it done on the road in that conference title decider. And this one, yeah, this will be one of the biggest meetings in a long time. That crowd is going to be raucous, and I imagine the players are probably going to, the team that keeps their discipline probably be the one that comes out on top. Like, say, it might get chippy.
You still confident in your prediction the Grizz are going to do it after everything you've seen, how way they've played so far?
Their offense has not let me down whatsoever. Like I said, they're playing like a team that's out there to prove a point.
Yeah, so we're going to get a championship game, which is at worst the 3 seed against at best the 12 seed. It's going to be absolutely crazy. That game will be 2 weeks after this one. I think they usually play about January the 7th or something like that. But yeah, the FCS Playoffs coming to their climax right now, and they have not disappointed at all. We'll move it on. Obviously, the FBS Playoffs have not started yet. We'll have a little look at those fixtures later. But one game did go on in the FBS ranks this week, and Brent, if you want, I won't blame you. You can mute me for the next 5 or 6 minutes, whatever. But we get the traditional end of season, regular season curtain raiser, the Army-Navy game, and it's. After last year, Navy won last year, but Army had the American behind them. They'd won the American last year. Navy came in, won the game. It's not been so smooth and breezy for Army this year. They've had a fall off, which we expected them to. But you come into this game and, absolutely everything's off the table. Navy have been the better team this year on paper. They've probably looked a bit better as well, but as I say, these two teams always put on a good game, and this was absolutely no different. And once again, Navy win the game 17-16, and this is a game where Army, Ryan, are going to be absolutely kicking themselves that they didn't win. But this game started in true fashion, like service teams do. There was one completed drive in the first quarter of this game. Because both teams pulled off 13-play first drives. Navy got the ball first. They went 13 plays for 75 yards. Took 7 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock before Blake Horvath had a rushing touchdown from 5 yards out to take the lead. But then Army gave them exactly as good as they got, and they came up with their own 13-play, 75-yard drive. Which took about 7 minutes 20 seconds, but it didn't end until 5 seconds into the second quarter. So just one completed drive in that first quarter, which was crazy. But Cale Helms, he had a rushing touchdown from 2 yards out. So basically identical drives in every way, sense and form, and both quarterbacks rushing on the back of that. Navy then had a quick 3 and out. They went 3 plays, 9 yards before punting the ball. Then Army come out again, and then they put together an even larger drive. 14 plays, 63 yards. It took 8 minutes and 50 seconds. So Army's first 2 drives took about 16 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock. They were unable to convert at the end, though. They had to settle for a field goal from 21 yards out. They were 4th and goal at the Navy 3, but they didn't risk going for it. But then they were able to force a fumble out of Navy on their next drive. The receiver got the ball. I think he dropped it from hard contact on the ground. And Army were able to get the ball back with about 20 seconds left. They went 4 plays, 27 yards, and managed to hit over another field goal before the half to make it 13-7. At half time, and for the most part Navy had dominated the half, and time of possession probably should have been a little bit further in front, and then the second half came and everything started to fall a little bit apart. Army's first drive, they went 4 plays but then had to punt it away. Navy then threw an interception. Blake Horvath threw a pick. It was the Army DB Weaver. He pick-sixed the interception, but unfortunately for him, when he'd gone to catch it, he'd sort of put his knee on the ground to stabilise himself, then caught it. If he'd not have done that, it would have been a pick-6, but he accidentally put his knee on the ground to stabilise himself, caught the ball, so it was Army ball at the 32. Unable to take advantage of that, though. They only got a field goal off it, so another field goal. Army 16-7 up. Could have been 20-7, which probably would have put the game out of Army's reach. And then everything just started going a little bit wrong. Navy put together a 13-play, 72-yard drive. Went nearly 7 minutes again. There's just a lot of big drives in this game. They were only able to get a field goal off the end of it. Brought it back to 16-10. But then Army punted. 3 and out. Didn't get a single yard whatsoever. To be honest, both teams punted for no yardage whatsoever. Then Cale Helms gets picked off, giving Navy the ball about the halfway line. And then everything really starts to go to pot. So Navy drive all the way down to the Army end zone. It's a 2nd and goal, and Navy trying to push it over. Army are able to force the fumble. It's their linebacker Eric Ford. He managed to punch the ball out He able to grab the football after that, but the running back Alex Texer, he saves the day. He manages to re-punch the ball out of Eric Ford's hands, and Eli Heidenreich, the wide receiver, he's able to land on it. So instead of it being a turnover right on their own end zone, Navy are able to get it back. It's quite lucky. And then on 4th and goal as a result of that play, Navy went for it, and Horvath fired a dart into Heidenreich for what would be the winning touchdown. Army really should have got them off the field at that point. On the 3rd down, they nearly sacked Horvath as well. But yeah, they were not able to get it back. They had to punt again. And then on the last drive, Navy's last drive with about 2 minutes to go, Army linebacker Caleb Fortner, he absolutely blasts Blake Horvath, who's trying to sneak over like a 3rd and 3. He hits the ball with his helmet. The ball pops up in the air, falls right back down in Horvath's hands, luckily for him. He then falls back with the ball behind his head, has the ball punched out a second time, which Army then recover, only for the refs to then say he was down by contact, so Army were not able to get the ball, and he got 2 yards out of that. So it comes down to a 4th and 1, and Navy are able to sneak it across a 4th and 1 conversion, which Navy are then able to see the game out. And as Grandeyes are so well put earlier, at this point in the game, one of the commentators' voices have broke. It was like listening to the Looney Tunes trying to commentate on this as well. But I mean, this was so much fun, right? You know, service football as we know it, long, sustained, bruising drives, not quite capable of finishing them off. But Army, after the first half they put in, they'll be kicking themselves, forcing so many fumbles, and Navy somehow getting them back, but then giving up the touchdown on 4th down, giving up the game-ending 4th down. They will regret this. They will think they should have won this, and they probably could have won this on a different day. The pick 6 as well, which wasn't because of an errant knee on the ground. Like, this had everything.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just know it's not your day, and some of those decisions just told me it was not going to be Army's day. As you say, reaching for the goal line, which you're never supposed to do. Horvath early on gets the ball punched out, and like you say, it's going to be a turnover. But then, like you say, careless possession, and then a turnover again, which gives them a fresh set of downs. Like I said, that's the first nail in the coffin. Pick 6, like I say, he's had to go down low to get the ball, not been able to control himself. And at that point, like you say, 30 yards out, you shouldn't be settling for a field goal. Like you say, you should be able to find your way into the end zone. So that was certainly not good. But yeah, red zone wars kind of plagued Army all day, unfortunately. Too many times they found themselves getting stuffed or not being creative enough inside the 10-20 yard line. A couple of drives where field goal just wasn't going to cut it. Costly pick at halfway. Like I say, not a great floor all by Helms, but only takes 1 or 2 players to be the difference. So like I say, Army, they don't have an Eli Heidenreich. They don't have that do-it-all, jack-of-all-trades offensive guy that can bail you out of trouble like he can do Navy at a time, and he really was one of the deciding factors on the day. Other than a little sprinkle of luck, as you say, that final late play where he's just down when he coughs the ball up after getting absolutely destroyed by number 40 linebacker, who just comes through, unblocked blitzer, and just absolutely crumples him. Like I say, I couldn't believe he kept hold of the ball the first time. He did not see it coming at all. Like I say, that was just unfortunate. But yeah, the day, the spectacle, the crowd were raucous. Like I say, they were full of emotion. Army fans they looked like they'd really been through it by the end. Like I say, they'd been through like a boxing match. Like I say, they were distraught to lose that game in that fashion. But a game played the right way. 7.85 million people watch it. People make out like it's not like the biggest game in America, when arguably it is. That's NFL numbers. Like I said, like Thanksgiving. Like I said, people pretend like it's not. Yeah, it means everything. Like you say, and then you get the singing at the start. You get Trump and all that. But yeah, the whole thing is a spectacle. And this was one of the best meetings in recent years because, like I say, it wasn't pretty, wasn't overly effective, but had a lot of drama. And then, like I say, it went down to the very end, very wire. Like I say, they just managed to get their nose over, convert, and break the Knights' heart, fortunately, in the best Army uniform of probably the last decade, in my opinion. They should have won.
Army's ones. Army's were beautiful. I absolutely loved Army's uniforms.
William Shakespeare font and the chrome helmet. Like, it's the best they've looked in years.
It is. It was absolutely beautiful. And I love Navy's helmets as well. They were absolutely tremendous, but it was great. I do not know how Luke Faulkner's forced fumble. That defied physics. You have a 230-pound linebacker who hits the ball flush with his helmet going in the other direction, and it pops up in the air. Like, it was just absolutely crazy, and it just drops right back to the quarterback. You force a second fumble on the same play. It's just down. I'm contentious as to whether it was fully down. They said his arm was down, it was close, but I thought it had to be your elbow. It was like his, like, kind of this part. It weren't the elbow, but yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I apologise. I've got fireworks going off right outside my window. No idea why on the 18th of December, but that's what that big bang was a second ago. But yeah, absolutely tremendous game in every single sense of the word. Army should be very aggrieved that they were not able to get that one out. And again, it's just unlucky twice. They really could have. That Texer, when he just has that little, he sort of flicks it out the linebacker's hands. That could have been returned for a touchdown. That could have been another 7 points for Army. And he just flicks it a little out his hand and forces him to drop it. And it's just fine margins, literally inches in this game. Brent goes, how many points off turnovers did Army have? 0. No, they had 3. They got a field goal off the interception. That was the only turnover. They kept forcing fumbles, but Navy just very luckily kept falling on them. I don't know if Navy... I think Navy got 3 off of Hellam's turnover. I think it worked out against... I think they both got field goals off the turnovers, but Army didn't fumble. So it was very close, but it was an awesome game. Absolutely loved every bit of it. And yet, Navy eventually won it out. But I tell you what, there's some draft prospects from there coming out this year. Obviously, Landon Robinson had a great game at deep tackle. Heidenreich, what's he going to be at the next level? Because you look at him and the routes he runs are so crisp. He does the work of a fullback. He does the work of a running back. He plays, he seems to do it all there, but he's such a crisp route runner. You feel there's an NFL future for him, and I think he's already predicted to go to the Shrine Bowl, isn't he? But I'm looking forward to seeing him in the draft process.
Yeah, be interesting to see what happens with him. He may well get enough interest that he's able to put in the way that to delay his service time and actually make it to NFL. I'm with you. Feels like a H-back kind of tight end. Like I say, plays the game very much like Reynolds used to do at Navy. Like I say, is a crisp runner, good routes, a QB that turned into a running back receiver. I see all those traits in Heidenreich when he's got the ball in his hands. Like I say, he's good outside. Like I say, very physical blocker too. In the backfield when he tucks in as an extra running back or a full-back, he doesn't shy away from anyone taking them on head-on and chipping them. So yeah, very versatile player. Like I say, big for the Shrine Bowl for him to go up against some of the more high-profile talent in the country. Yeah? Like I say, may sneak his way into a roster as a UDFA.
Absolutely, Mike. So we will see some of these
ability as well. Will he now declare? He'll now join the Navy. Won't he?
Who's that?
Blake Carver. He'll join the Navy now, won't he?
I would assume so. I think he's done and dusted. This is the advantage Army have. I assume Cale Helms will be back next year. I think he's just a sophomore this year, if I remember rightly. So
they're losing Eli and Blake. They've been the heart of that Navy team for best part of 3 years, it feels like.
Well, it's like what Army lost last year, weren't it? Losing the quarterback, like one of the best quarterbacks in the nation last year, Army had. So, losing that, it's very tough for the service teams, especially when you've got these these playmakers. Heidenreich was the difference between these two teams. I think, was it 7 of Horvath's 8 completions went to Heidenreich. He's not going anywhere else. It's just, let's throw it down there and Eli will catch it. So, one of those ones. But, yeah. Army-Navy did not disappoint, but Navy win it again. And I think I saw this little stat there, and Brent will not like this. Army have not beaten a ranked Navy team now since 1955, and they have been ranked more times than you think. I think 14 times in that period. So, yeah, Army don't like playing Navy in years which they are ranked. Brent goes, I thought Brady Small had another good game. My centre crush, Brady Small, did very well indeed. There could be quite a few guys from these service teams going to the draft this year. I say Landon Robinson's definitely going to the draft, I believe. He's an absolute freak of nature. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but yeah, he is absolutely crazy. Anyhow, we will move this on, and where was I next? We're going to take a quick look at the college football awards were this week. For most of the prestigious awards out there, and start with the Heisman. Obviously, we're talking about the Heisman this week, but probably not surprising, right? Julian Sayin finished 4th in voting. Jeremiah Love finished 3rd. The top 2 came down to Diego Pavia and Fernando Mendoza, and very comfortably, this wasn't even a close decision. Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback, wins the Heisman this year as his draft campaign is about to begin, and I have a feeling that he's going to get the Cam Ward treatment. Fernando Mendoza is, people are going to absolutely hate on him for no reason because he's the number 1 QB in this year's class and they don't consider him to be generational, but you think overall the work he's done, the victories he's had this year, we said it should be either Pavia or Mendoza. I'm quite happy that Mendoza ended up winning the Heisman.
See, they both embody the Heisman. Like, say, when you think about who is the most important player to their program in the country, you kind of have to think of these two. Because if you take them out, you can't just put anyone in expecting to do their job. Like I said, those two, they have put that team on back time and time again. Like I say, Pavia has time and time again been written off, like you say, because, I mean, for the most part, I don't think he's very likeable, and that did not help his chances. Because, like you say, he's very vocal. He didn't help his case in recent weeks by the things he puts online. So, like I say, he lost by like 500 points, as you say. It was a landslide victory for Mendoza. It was not close. Like you say, he seems very quite humble, quite quiet, just very polished about his work. Like I say, Indiana, historic year. Like I say, going to the playoffs now, like I say, is one of the potential front runners in a team that could go down and, like I say, folklore. Pavia didn't take losing very well, but that shouldn't surprise anyone because that's just kind of him in it. His first thought is, like I say, go straight online and speak my mind, like I say. But yeah, I think the order for me is perfectly fine. Like I say, I understand why. Pavia, like I say, the fact he's taken a program that has gone from, like I say, being, like I say, a bit of a joke in the SEC to be super competitive, like I say, now one of, like I say, the real dark horses. Whereas on the flip side, Indiana have kind of always been there, just not been relevant. Like I say, and like I say, he's an extension of Signetti on the field, so they're very different players. Their draft routes can be very interesting because, as you say, someone's going to take Mendoza very high, and their fans are all going to just absolutely crucify that decision. They're going to hate every second of it. Like I say, Pavia could be taken really far back, but he has got, like I say, potential massive upside. Like I say, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes, just how far apart they are taken.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, but I'm going to back Mendoza to the absolute hilt. Just because he's not got an Ohio State, Georgia, or Alabama next to his name, people think he's not capable of being a number 1 overall pick. I think that's balderdash. I think he's perfectly worthy of that pick if that's the route anyone decides to go. But yeah, Mendoza absolutely deserves that. Let's go through a few comments while I've got a minute, because I've been neglecting those a little bit. Brian Adale, hope you're doing well. He goes, why are the college logos on the thumbnail? He's an Arizona State fan. I'm an NC State fan, hence why they're on there. I'm messing around with the thumbnails at the minute. I'm trying to get us a proper thumbnail and do it properly, but that's what I came up with for the time being. But that's why. They're the teams we support. Grandest is saying, and it's the Troubles, they're back again. Yes, I hope the Irish have not invaded. We're right in the middle of England here, so they've invaded very far if that is the case. SW Line goes, hi all, I think Oklahoma is going to win, but I'm rooting for Alabama tomorrow. I mean, we'll talk about them later, but yeah, I mean, No one talked about Oklahoma not being a playoff team when they've quite clearly not got an offense. I think there will be a big inquiry. They're one of the teams Notre Dame will be watching. If Oklahoma get blown away tomorrow because they can't put any points on the board, I think the playoff committee will be under scrutiny if they lose. So at least I hope it's competitive, because they are literally a one side of the ball team right now. Duncan Stewart goes, my Navy 8791 plays a fine game for a bunch of nerds and pilots. Hayes, Gray and underway. Tell you what, the service teams over the last 5 years have brought themselves into being legitimate college football. When we started doing this pod 5 years ago, we kind of looked down on the service teams a little bit. They were partners of a bygone age and hadn't really adjusted to it. You think 5 years later now, one's won the American, one nearly won the American. Air Force nearly won the Mountain West a couple of years ago. So they have adapted to the times now. The service teams are a great part of college football once more. He goes, lines-wise, we need a strong centre and a few tackles in reserve this next season. Then some defensive backs as well. We're gonna need a lot this season coming. Anywho, moving on to the other awards. It wasn't the only one Mendoza got. He also won the Maxwell Award for Most Outstanding Player, the Walter Camp Award for Player of the Year, and he got the Davey O'Brien Award for Best National Quarterback as well. Diego Pavia did get the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, which is for the Most Outstanding Senior Quarterback, but Mendoza was not a senior this year. He was a junior, so he did not qualify for that particular one. The Home Depot Award, which used to be called the George Munger, which was for Coach of the Year, and you know what, I'm quite glad with this run by, but they've gone back to back. Kurt Signetti last year got the George Munger because quite rightfully what he did with Indiana in one season was incredible, but bringing them back and taking them even higher to win the Big Ten, he has been given the award again, and he has won back-to-back. And to be honest, there are some deserving coaches out there, but I could not think of a better one than Kurt Signetti. What he's done with Indiana in 2 years has been nothing short of transformational. We'll not see many of these, if one of these, ever again. That's how rare it is.
Yeah, I'm with you. He was the only real winner for me. He's taken on last season, which was already pretty famous its own right, taken the one step further. Like you say, he slayed the Dragon in the Big Ten title game, and the moment they won that game, I knew he was winning this award. Like you say, he's taken them to the top of the mountain, and now, the playoffs, it's a free hit. Like you say, they go in there with nothing to lose. They're Big Ten champions. Like you say, they've earned their respect, and now they get to go out there and, like you say, potential to really shake the football landscape up. Like I say, it's going to be massive to see what they do in the postseason. But yeah, like I say, he goes about his business. He's a good recruiter. Like you say, he brings in good talent. He nurtures it. And on the field, he's got, like I say, delivers some big results in the last 2 years and does it all, like you say, well, keeping himself out of the media. Like you say, he's not one of these guys who don't talk a lot. Kind of just goes about his work. Seems a pretty chill, low-key kind of guy, and I like that about him. Like you say, he's not one of these guys that tries too hard to be funny or likeable or hip. Like you say, he's kind of just, he does it the right way. Like you say, and at some point, would he get an NFL chance? Will the age work against him at some point if he continues it? Someone's maybe going to give him a chance for a year.
Not in the near future. I think his second coordinator's just signed with him today, so both the coordinators have just been locked up for God knows how long. He's got a contract for life there. I think you're looking at least 5 years down the line before potentially that, but he's getting older, so I feel like he might see out his career there if they let him, if they don't drop off too bad. Brent DeWitt goes, rooting for the Sooners, but we'll be watching Proctor again. What a beast. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of issues with Caden Proctor this offseason just because I prefer Caleb Tiernan and Carter Smith, and I don't want another Bama prospect just because he's from Bama. I don't think Caden Proctor's all that, but we'll see, because he's up against R. Mason Thomas this week, and R. Mason Thomas is going to be drafted very high, so let's see how he can do. Duncan Stewart goes, Heisman Trophy, maybe next month they do it. No, they've done the Heisman. Fernando Mendoza has won the Heisman this year, quite deservedly so. He goes, should Indiana be ranked number one? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. They should be ranked number one. They have the best defense in the nation. Screw what Ohio State say. Indiana have the best defense in the nation, and they've got a very good offense as well. Like, it is collectively, as a team, the best football team in the nation. They absolutely deserve to be number one, and there's no doubt about that. Right, other award winners. The Doak Walker won, probably unsurprisingly, by Jeremiah Love. There were other guys like Emmett Johnson and that who rushed for more, but I guess the Notre Dame program and its prestige, and because he was a Heisman finalist as well, so it's kind of hard for him to be the only running back go to the Heisman and not get the Doak Walker. But he has had a good year. Maybe not as all-conquering as we thought he might, but he's going to be a very high draft pick in a few months' time.
Yeah, like I say, he's had a great year. He's shared a lot more carries as well, like than he's used to. Like I say, last year it was kind of just him. And like you say, just let him do his thing. But Jadarian Price, to his own credit, this year has been a factor in that offense too. So it's telling that, I say, he's done so well, Love, while he's also kind of been, splitting and staying fresh. So yeah, he's had a very good year. Like I say, Emmett Smith, Ahmad Hardy. There were some of those other guys that you could have considered for the award. But yeah, fair enough, like you say, Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, and Jadarian Price declared for the draft today as well, so Notre Dame losing their 1-2 punch this year. Be interesting to see if they pick up Hollywood Smothers. I'm going to cry, but hey-ho. But yeah, Jeremiah Love coming to a draft near you soon, as is the winner of the Biletnikov, and he will be going very high this year. Unsurprisingly, Rye, after an absolute highlight reel of a season, Makai Lemon takes home the Biletnikov award, and I don't think there was ever any doubting this one.
No. It's not all about numbers. Like I say, he has just been explosive. He's been exciting. He's made huge splash plays. He's made some, like I say, had some monster games. The Trojans have been good, very good, not great, not his fault. Like I say, he's carried that offense on his back, and he's proved that despite, like I say, the slender frame and the one monster bag, like I say, I'm with you. He's easily going to be a top 10 draft pick. Like I say, he was by far the most valuable weapon, wide receiver-wise, in the country this year. And yeah, he's put on a real clinic in the Rose Bowl. So yeah, I very much look forward to watching him in the NFL. And he was definitely made for me. I picked him straight away as soon as the year finalist. I thought, yeah, it's got to be him.
Yeah, absolutely it was. The John Mackey Award for tight end went to Eli Stowers, and his draft process will also be unique because of what he does. He's a quarterback, he's a tight end, he's a wide receiver, he's a halfback. He is the clone, and everybody hates it, of his the new. Again, if Sean Payton coveted him because of Taysom Hill-esque things, like, I could tell you now, if Sean Payton is a head coach in this upcoming draft, I think there's 99% chance he goes to Denver, but he is just the jack of all trades, and some teams will value that very highly. I think he might go a lot higher than people anticipate, Eli Stowers, right? But he wins the Mackey.
Yep. Like you say, I can't argue with that one. He was also probably the best tight end in the country last year too. So he's just basically doubled up. But yeah, I mean, man, is this tight end class so bad. I think it's such a weak class. Like I say, Stowers, because of that fact, is going to go a lot higher than people think. Stowers at the Combine will be one of the people watch closely, because I'd expect him to do well at everything. He will be one of the most well-rounded testers of all sorts. And as with you, some coaches will love him, some coaches will hate him. Like I say, they'll be like, nope, not traditional. But like I say, it's just a factor in an offense. Yeah, he feels very much like a kind of guy that does it all, like I say, and yeah. We saw how high Harold Fanning went in recent cycles. Like I said, there's no reason Stowers can't go as high.
No, not with all that he brings, like I say. College quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver. He will do whatever you want him to, and to a good degree as well. So I think someone will fall in love with Eli Stowers, and by all accounts, he's an academic wizard as well, so people will like his off-the-field stuff, which should really appeal to them. In terms of the trenches, the Remington for Outstanding Centre was won by Logan Jones out of Iowa, which is probably well-deserved. And the Outland Trophy, the most pointless one of them all, for Most Outstanding Interior Lineman, for the second year in a row, has been won by an offensive tackle. Those well-known interior linemen, the tackles, must have learnt the NFL wrong, but Spencer Farno out of Utah, the right tackle, he got it this year, and Kelvin Banks got it last year. But yeah, Logan Jones, Spencer Farno win those. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, and your guy, Rye, he cleaned up everything. The Chuck Bednarik Award for Defensive Player of the Year. The Bronco Nagurski for the other Defensive Player of the Year. Won the Dick Butkus for Most Outstanding Linebacker. And the Lombardi Award for the nation's top player. 4 awards for Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker out of Texas Tech. Just one of the most unbelievable seasons we've seen from a linebacker all time, and quite rightly, right, you wouldn't argue against him getting pretty much every defensive accolade there is. He has been an absolute man mountain for this Texas Tech team, which is going to the playoffs, and he has done just about everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to ask why he didn't make the Heisman. Like you say, who'd you put him over? I mean, you'd have to put him over Sayin. Like you say, and yeah, a lot of people would have been very upset by that. A lot of people would have been delighted by that. I'm with you. If you're talking most well-rounded defender all year, the leader, the most impactful defender in the country, it's him by a long stretch. And yeah, I hope he has a big playoffs. Like I say, I hope he makes people doubt, like I say, why they didn't put him in the Heisman final. And yeah, I very much look forward to his pre-draft cycle, because he's one of those players where physical limitations will mean some teams are like, we can't take him higher than this, and someone will just be like, screw it, I don't care if he's only 6'1", 215, 220, like I say, not built like a traditional inside linebacker. Someone will have him at the very top of the board because he's an impactful playmaker. Yeah, he's going to be one of those where very polarizing in this day and age how someone thinks his skill set will portray to their field or their defense here. But yeah, I'm a big fan of him. He's one of my favourite players in the country. And yeah, it's good to see him clean up. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see, like say, how a team that has been one of the darlings of the nation in the regular season actually performs when it really matters. Do they get stage?
Yeah, and there's bigger fish coming to eat them now. I mean, the Big 12 is a big pond, but now they're swimming in the ocean, and there's a lot of big predators out there, and just how much will that money see them through? But I'm with you, he could make himself a buck in this draft, and this draft is going to be very big for the whole analytics versus eye testing, because a lot of your great prospects coming up this year do not fit analytical stereotypes, and we have seen bust after bust after bust from guys who are athletically freakish and they're race warriors and they've done bugger all in college, but they are the stereotypical NFL player who are absolutely flaming out, and all these productive guys who are getting written off and put down draft boards are coming in and thriving. It's about time teams learn to stop using analytics all the time when drafting the guys. You look at Jacob Rodriguez, he screams NFL player on a Sunday. It's that easy. If he looks like one, if he feels like one, he is one. So take him nice and early. And that's the same thing with Bain as well. I mean, overthink it, let him drop to the Lions. But yeah, we will see. Other award winners, the Jim Thorpe for Outstanding Defensive Back went to Caleb Downs of Ohio State. Now, I do feel there were more deserving winners here, but Ohio State is the big name program, and Caleb Downs is probably going to be a top 10 draft pick at worst. So, you know, him getting it, fine, whatevs. The Lou Groza for collegiate place kicker went to Tate Sandell out of Oklahoma. The Ray guy for punter went to Brett Thorson out of Georgia. But the Campbell Trophy for the top scholar athlete went to Eli Stowers. So again, you know, you want off field, you want someone who's clever. That will stand out to a lot of teams there. The most versatile player, the Paul Hornung Award, goes to Casey Conception of Texas A&M, you traitor. The Lott Impact Trophy for Outstanding Defensive Player went to Caleb Downs. The Werfel Trophy for Top Community Servant of the Year went to Michael Taft, the safety out of Texas, also going to the draft. And the Burlsworth Trophy for Top Walk-On went to Drew Mestermaker, the quarterback out of North Texas. Yeah, no one was ever going to beat him for that, right? Walk-on comes, throws the most passing yards in the country. Now going to get himself a big-ass Power 4 team to play for next year.
Yeah, I'd say, he's taken the nation by storm. He's in the portal. His name's on everybody's lips. I've seen some very interesting teams, like I said, people that you wouldn't have associated linked with him. But when I think about his style of a big pocket passer that wants air raid, yeah, when I think about it now, actually, those teams really make sense for it. I'd say TCU and Houston. But they both play the exact brand of football that Drew Mestamaker would go in. Like I say, spread offense, trips, like I say, offense, like I say, spread passing offense like that, make a lot of sense. Like I say, and I've seen a lot of people saying, don't just assume he's going to Oklahoma State. Like I say, everyone's assuming he goes there, but a lot of people are banking on he doesn't. And the Horned Frogs are someone to watch because he does look a lot like Josh Hoover, and he plays a lot like Josh Hoover.
I tell you what, I would love to see TCU have just hired Gordon Samis, the UConn offensive line coach. He's going there as the OC, I believe. He's just made a career out of, pumping NFL linemen out of UConn. Now he gets to go to TCU with all them high-ranked Texas recruits on the doorstep. Like what he could do for Mestamaker there. TCU are now a pro team for me now that they've got Gordon Samis there, so he couldn't go anywhere better if that's the coach he's going to end up with, because they will protect him like a champion and allow him to go absolutely nuts. Right, that is it for the Collegiate Awards. Unfortunately, I don't think any of our preseason predictions were correct, but hey-ho, these things are a crapshoot. You never know, so, I'm not going to take that one too personally. Right, we're going to move on to our last bit that we've got planned for this evening, which is the All-Americans. Obviously, with the season now been done, the All-Americans have been announced now. For conferences do All-Americans, and you can break them all down, but you do get the consensus All-Americans, which are like the national All-Americans. So we've got the FBS and FCS All-American lists here, and then we used Hero Sports as well. They do a group of 5 All-Americans list there, just so we can highlight some of the better players who have been this year. These are a few of the names to know for the draft or for future years, etc. But I want to give a shout out to the guys who have really performed this year. So we're going to start with the FBS. As these are the Associated Press All-Americans, but they are consensus All-Americans for all intents and purposes. And the QB, the All-American QB this year, nationally, Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana, the junior, coming to the draft this year. Something we'll probably not be surprised by at all, given that he's just won the Heisman. So, of course, he was going to be in as the AP's All-American. Then your 2 running backs. You've got Jeremiah Love out Notre Dame, the junior. And then you've got Ahmad Hardy, the sophomore out of Missouri, who, I think in 12 months, right, we're going to be talking about an early declaration for the NFL. Ahmad Hardy's rise from Louisiana Monroe to Missouri and to wherever he plays next year, if he stays there with Pribula going in the thing. He's going to be the hot topic next year at running back. He's going to be running back 1 in the next draft, and I don't think there's going to be any conversation about it. And quite rightfully, first year in the SEC, he's already a national All-American. What more can you say about him?
Exactly. It's a perfect destination to transfer to a team in the SEC with a big gaping hole in offense, that with a quarterback situation that's just left, knowing you're going to get a couple of 100 carries. Very smart decision by the young man to pick the destination. While I'm hot, like I say, his quarterback's just gone. I think I entered the portal. Georgia, Bama, Ole Miss, Texas, big name there. They've just lost Trevor Wisner. Big 4 there. Like I say, you go there, do it, earn yourself a big fat rookie deal. And like I say, there's no reason as a running back anymore to play more than 3 years. You do not want the mileage on the clock. The moment you hit your junior year, you got to go. They need you to be fresh. So yeah, go out there, have a big year next year. Even if you stay in Missouri, go put in another 1,000-yard season, and yeah, there will be nobody else in the contention for number 1 running back in the country next year. And like I say, he will lock himself up to be a first-round draft pick easily, no matter what happens. So yeah, whatever happens, like I say, he's going to go somewhere. and he's going to get a shed load of carries next year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's just going to go absolutely crazy. But yeah, Jeremiah Love.
Keep him.
Sorry.
I think it'll come down to money in NIL. I just can't see Missouri affording to keep him.
No, that might be a tough one there for him. But
he's already said on Twitter this week that he's pissed off because tampering. He's already hearing from all of them. All his players are already getting people calling them.
Oh yeah, that was what's his face?
To the list.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's NIL is a discussion we'll have to have another day, but a lot of stuff going on there in regards to that. Anywho, moving on to the wide receivers. So the first team All-Americans for wide receivers, it's basically the three guys who were listed down for the Biletnikov. So you've got Mekhi Lemon out of USC, you've got Jeremiah Smith out of Ohio State, and first ever consensus All-American, national All-American out of the Yukon Huskies, Skylar Bell, Ryan, over 2,000 receiving yards and 18 touchdowns in his last 2 years with the Huskies. Started off at Wisconsin and was kind of a bit of a nobody there, but between him and Joe Fagnano, you've had one of the best quarterback-wide receiver relationships in the league or in college football the last 2 years. He has just gone nuts in his last year, and yes, he's going to be an older prospect, but in terms of a chain mover, a security blanket, someone who is tough as nails, I love his backstory. He's gritty and resilient as all hell. This is a huge honour for him to be at UConn, to be a first-team national All-American, and again, I look forward to seeing his draft process because I think teams will fall in love with him and what he does, and utterly deserves to be in this conversation and to get this accolade.
I like it. Like I say, it'd be very easy to just put Tyson in. Like I say, but to put Bell in or Bell at Louisville, like I say, one of those two, which, like I say, deserve a lot of love compared to the big three, as we call them. I like this decision. Like I say, UConn have had a big year. Like I say, he's been one of the biggest factors, one of the most important playmakers in the country for his team, and he deserves a bit of recognition. Going into what you say is going to be an interesting cycle for him. Like I say, he's definitely a sleeper when it comes to wide receiver rankings because there'll be a lot of players teams think of before they think of him. He will be down pecking boards, but that probably just helps him in the long run. If he goes like day 3, you probably just get a potential massive upside. He's going to definitely be a steal in the next cycle, especially with Bell at Louisville doing his ACL. That helps Skylar immensely. Like I say, he could be a guy that you turn to straight away to get some production as a rookie.
Yeah, I think he's a mini version of Amon-Ra St. Brown and what he does. Like, someone will pick him on day 3 and you'll get instant output of him in year 1. So, yeah, stoked for Skylar Bell to be a first-team national All-American. The tight end, Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt. Not surprising, given he won the John Mackey as well. And as Ryan said, the tight end class around college football right now is not great. In terms of the... we'll do the all-purpose player. Casey Concepcion gets his shout-out from Texas A&M, which is very well-deserved. As a returner, as a receiver, he does work out the backfield as well. Casey Concepcion next year will be drafted very high. I think he should spend one more year in college. I think he's only a freshman last year. He's a sophomore this year. He'll be junior next. I think he'll come to the draft early next year. But yeah, quite rightfully a nod in the AP All-Pros for him. And then your offensive line, start with the 2 tackles. Francis Mauigoa out of Miami, Spencer Farno out of Utah. Consensus All-Americans, right? Both of these guys are juniors, they're young, they're both coming to the NFL draft, and they're probably both going in the top 10. These two are going to be fighting it out for OT1 in this upcoming draft, but they're just 2 guys who started day 1 as a true freshman and never looked back and have just completely dominated in college football.
Yeah, as you say, 2 guys, both playing, like you say, both equally worthy of, like say, being there, both, 6'6"? I'm sure they're both absolutely giant. They're both well built, both got that prototypical frame you need a position. And I'm with you. 2 top 15 picks. Someone needs a plug and play left, someone needs a plug and play right. Like I say, I pray one of them makes it to 18, 19, 20. Kind of love the thought of both of them. But no, I'm not getting my hopes up. They could be long gone by then. But yeah, like I say, another great year if you need to draft an offensive tackle. Like I say, these two are cream of the crop.
They absolutely are. They're both absolute superstar studs. I know a lot of Lions fans who want Spencer Fardo, but newsflash, he ain't going to be there when we pick unless we don't make it to the playoffs, in which case he might just be, and we might be able to trade up and get him. But yeah, I would love him on our team, as unlikely as it be. The guards, you've got Bo Stevens out of Iowa, the senior, and then you've got Emmanuel Pregnon out of Oregon, the senior there. And Pregnon, right, maybe one of the best guard prospects we've seen in forever. He's not given up a sack since he was back in Wyoming in 2022. Had 2 clean years at at USC. Then made the big move over to Oregon this year, moved in the Big Ten. He's gone there. Do you know what he's done? He's graded at 87. 87 against the run, 88 as a pass blocker. He's given up 3 pressures this year. 3 pressures. He's given up 1 hit and 2 quarterback hurries. That is the only thing he has given up. Like, Pregnon, no one talks about right now. He is 3,000 snaps worth of experience at left guard, at right guard. Again, I think he's one of the best guard prospects we've seen in years, and I'm not surprised he's an All-American again.
Oh yeah, he's head and shoulders my number 1 interior offensive lineman in the class. As you say, split time at both positions, played at big programs, played in big offenses in front of opposing crowds. He's handled the Big Ten, and the Big Ten is the offensive lineman factory of the country. Like I say, he has done incredibly well. Like I say, he's done a great year protecting a young quarterback. Absolutely stellar. Like another year, he's not going to make out the top 20, top 25. Like I say, and then on the other side, another Iowa offensive lineman. What is it about Iowa in the trenches? Like, they just love it. Like I say, I love Dunker. Like I say, the guys here that we're not even talking about on the Iowa offensive line, a centre, the guards, they're all going to get drafted high. But yeah, Bo, a great guy, gritty, physical interior, helped a QB that wants to run and carry the ball. Like I say, has done the trench warfare. Iowa, been particularly sneaky in games this year. They've looked much better in offensive in recent years because their offense has been putrid. They put together much better offensive years, and all of it started on the line this year. All their offensive linemen are getting drafted this year. They're eligible. Like I said, they've been an incredibly good unit, yeah. Like I said, big turnover coming to Detroit. Like I said, we love Iowa guys. You can pretty much already pencil him in on one of their boards.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's talking about, is it Ione at Penn State, but I don't think he's got a rub on Pregnon. I think Pregnon's absolutely superb, and he's going to be a plug-and-play guard day 1 in the NFL, and will never look back. So, yeah, that's the guard run about Pregnon. But Bo Stevens out of Iowa, again, like I said, what's in the water there? He's awesome. Hang on, let me check. I lie. I think he's he is a senior. And then the centre is Logan Jones, another Iowa man, All-American this year. And I have been doing centre. I know I've promised you all a centre thing. What I'm going to do, and Grandizer, you'll like this. You showed me that video that Chargers lady did. I'm trying to do something similar to that with the centres. Hopefully I'll have it released this week, so I'm going to do that separate. But Logan Jones out of Iowa, right? I've done the stuff on him. People are already starting to get on him because of his size. They think he's a little small. I think his arms are a little on the small side. But you look at him and he just looks the epitome of an NFL guy. He's got like 3,000 snaps of experience. He is a graduate. He is a little on the older side, but you told me he's going to be a plug-and-play guy day 1 of next year as well. He's absolutely going to be, it looks like. He's coming from the pedigree, the stock, the O-line school. I won't put it past him, but Logan Jones is your All-American, and again, rightfully so.
Yeah, like you say, for me, a strong centre class. Like you say, the whole class, like I say, this year, if you need a centre, is great. And centres, man, you need them older. They're always older when they get to the NFL. They always play a lot of snaps because it's a position that probably offers the most longevity on the offensive line in the NFL. You play 10, 15, 20 years. So for me, another guy, supremely high on our board. Like you say, I love him. He's great. He's a mauler. He's a nasty dude. Like I say, someone I'm already looking at. Like you say, yeah, a great year for him. Like I say, someone like Sam with you, plug and play, and they don't need to be big. Isn't Creed Humphreys only like 6'2"?
Yeah.
Like I say, yeah, he isn't big. Centres these days. They can come in the NFL at 6'1".
Yeah, and the caliber like. Again, this is why I hate the size thing, and you're coming from one of the schools which is just technically so adept and superb and teaches you everything you need to know, and you're playing against Big Ten D tackles every week. Like, all these guys go to the NFL and they play well in the NFL. It's the highest level of competition you can come up against in the country as a centre. Like, the dude isn't going to suffer just because his arms are an inch too short or he's an inch too short in height. He's going to be absolutely fine. And to be fair, he's funny as out as well. I love him as a person. They mic'd up him once, and he's just absolutely awesome. But yeah, Logan Jones as your centre. And then to finish it off, Grandizer goes, sorry I missed that, the pesky ad. Sorry, Grandizer, we put ads on low on here. Man needs to make a living, but we put them on as low as possible, so there's not too pain in the arse. But the kicker, Rye, the All-American consensus kicker this year, the first ever player in the history of the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors to be a consensus national All-American. Yes, we get a Hawaii shout out here. Can't say Matsuzawa, the senior from Hawaii, the guy who learned to kick by watching a YouTube video, the guy who is coming to the NFL next year, has been given an IPP designation next year, so you can put him on your practice squad and teams can't touch him. But Matsuzawa is your All-American kicker, the first in Hawaii history, and he's not missed a single kick all year. Like, bravo.
Yep, the Tokyo Tour. Nothing more deserving, like you say. The Rainbow Warriors have had a great year, and it's just a story, like you say. The fact is that, yeah, I mean, teaching yourself English, watching videos, like you say, learning how to kick, and then, like you say, walking on, like you say, your program. He could have won the walk-on. Like I say, he's not a scholarship kid. He didn't know how to kick when he arrived in the country. He's just watched videos of kickers, got on the field and practiced, and had an absolutely stellar year. And the Rainbow Warriors, without him, probably have a lot less wins. He has been as clutch as have come this year. And yeah, his reward, an IPP pathway program place, a guaranteed one-way ticket to the NFL in a kicking league that is so cutthroat and constantly kickers being recycled. He will get a chance to follow Charlie Smith, like I say, the Irish kicker now that's now the Saints starting kicker. Like I say, it's an excellent path for him. What a huge opportunity for the guy. This time in 12 months, like I say, could be a starting kicker in the NFL if it does, like I say, lands the ticket right. So yeah, like I say, he absolutely deserved to win the award. Should have won the Lou Groza award for me as well. I think he's been robbed.
Yeah, I do think he should have won the Lou Groza as well. I mean, how can you win the Lou Groza and not be the All-American choice there? But I'm so glad they did. But yeah, for Hawaii and UConn, their first ever national All-Americans consensus, and that is just so wonderful for them. On the defensive side of the ball, the edges. We always shout out Hawaii football on here, Grandizer. You know it. We will find a way to shout out Hawaii football by hook or by crook. The edges. Sorry?
Bet I can guess one of these edges.
Oh, go for it. Go guess.
Well, one of them has to be David Bailey.
Yes, one of them is David Bailey. So David Bailey and Cassius Howell are your two edges this year. The seniors from Texas Tech and Texas A&M, responsibly. David Bailey has just had the season of all seasons, and his season is not done yet, but the most prolific pass rusher in the nation by far. But Cassius Howell himself, the Tamu edge, is into double-digit sacks for the year on this Tamu team, which has made the playoffs for the first time. I love the pair of these. I'm so glad they're all Americans. They're consensus as well. I think that's well deserved, right? And Bailey's going to be another one of these. He doesn't measure up to what the NFL likes, but if you're going to sit there and ignore his production of his college career throughout the entirety of the thing, you're going to be the one who's sorry you didn't draft him afterwards.
Yep. He's only 6'3", with short arms, short legs, kind of skinny, not overly muscular, doesn't have the length for the frame. Like I say, even Cassius Howell, to be fair, he ain't got a big build either. He's only like 6'2", 230. So these are two guys that if I'm Brad and I'm like at like 20, I'm picking one of them. I know I need an offensive lineman, but I'm not passing on them. Like I say, Bailey's been supremely well-rounded. Sacks, tackles for loss, great in the run game. Cassius Howell is just such a a polished pass rusher. The guy just crumples quarterbacks. Like I say, he's just a nasty man that gets the quarterback and pins his ears back. A lot to work on, like I say, in run support, but I'm not drafting him for that. I want him like Myles Garrett. I would say, just go get the quarterback. And Cassius Howell does that. But yeah, two guys, like I say, big reason they've led two SD in the country. Two of them that have to have big playoff appearances for their teams to actually progress. But yeah, both definitely deserve the nods.
Absolutely, they do indeed. I'm the same. If David Bailey sat there when the Lions are picking, I run and scream and go there. Like, I'm sick and tired of just having chunky big ends who can't defend the run. Let's go and get some pass rushers who can get home. I think David Bailey can do that. Cassius Howell, you know how Tamu developed against. Cassius Howell's good in coverage as well. I think he would very much appeal to the Lions because he does the coverage stuff as well. But again, I'm with you. I would take either and either one of these. The D tackles, you got Caden McDonald out of Ohio State, the junior. He is going to declare early. Might be one of the best DTs in the draft, period. And then you've got Landon Robinson, the Navy defensive tackle, the first Navy midshipman to be a consensus All-American since 1983. And let's just remind you about what Landon Robinson is. He is a big man. He squats 700 pounds. He benches 465 pounds. He power cleans 350 pounds. He has a 33-inch vertical jump, and he runs a top speed of over 20 miles per hour as a defensive tackle. He has been a Feldman's freak for the last 3 years because he is just so insanely gifted and talented, and he's another midshipman, right, who's going to come to the NFL, but it's kind of hard for these G5 guys, especially D-tackle and that, to get in here. But as far as his measurables, the athleticism and the production on that Navy team goes, like, good for him. He deserves this. And of course Caden McDonald does. He's just been crazy good this year.
Yeah, like I said, two guys thoroughly deserve it. Like, I can't. Landon Robinson, when he gets to the combine, there's not many more guys I'm excited for. The guy is going to go Obi Melifonwu on the combine's arse. Like I say, he is going to blast them drills. He is going to be seriously well respected, I think, on draft boards. Like I say, an interior do-it guy that, like I say, is strong, he's fast, he's agile, he's a great finisher. He's got all the traits of a G5 guy. And I'm with you, it's very hard for the interior guys to crack that at the G5 level in these old teams. It usually goes to the big guys, the Bamas, the Georgias that produce those interior guys. But yeah, and then the Ohio State line, that D line has just been tremendous all year. But McDonald's done really well. We talk about the Currys, the guys on the outside, but the interior guys have done really well. We saw Tyreek Williams, like I say, benefit from a big year last year, land as a first round pick here. McDonald's had a great year generating pressure from the inside and great in that stalwart run game. Yeah, he should do well. So two guys very deserving that have taken very different paths to get here.
Yeah, indeed. I can't talk about Dominique Orange at the minute, Grandizer. He didn't have the best year by all standards, but I don't know if he's draft eligible this year. I think he's got... Well, he is draft eligible, but I think he's got one more year left in him at the minute.
Is he in the portal?
I can't say that.
I don't know. I'm not sure what it's going to do. I'm pretty sure he's declared for one of the end-of-season bowls.
Oh, he might have done that. We'll see. But Dominique Orange may be coming. But he's a great run defender. But you know, Lee Hunter's in the draft this year, so like Lee Hunter's just going to be this far above him. So maybe not the best year as a DT to. He needs to be more of a pass rusher as well if he wants to go really high. But he's one of my Cyclones. I love him. So we'll see. The linebackers, the 3 All-American consensus linebackers this year, and I mean, it's a pretty decent room to be fair. Of course, Jacob Rodriguez is in there from Texas Tech. He's won every defensive award going. He was never going to get in there. You've got CJ Allen, the heart and soul of that Georgia defense. Of course, these guys are going to get into the All-American nods. And then you've got potentially a future number 1 overall pick, right? You've got Arvell Reese out of Ohio State, the junior, the guy who's he's taken the Micah Parsons route where he started off at middle linebacker And then in his third year, they've sort of put him out on the edge more, and he's one of those hybrid guys now who NFL teams covet so much, and he's just had an absolutely monster year. And I think people are thinking back to Parsons and how people didn't take him and how everyone would take him higher now, but, you know, a lot of people, especially when the Titans are picking number one, Arvell Reese is the guy they're picking to go there. He is something special, and again, he's a junior, he's young, he's got miles to go, but these three linebackers are all cracking prospects.
Yeah, they've been tremendous. Like I say, Arvell Reese, yeah, they put him closer to the line of scrimmage to give him more pass rush responsibilities. He showed with that incredible length and frame that he's developed quite a knack for getting to the QB. And with you, Titans, like I say, lost Harold Landry, that kind of pass rushing linebacker, like I say. Titans could take him first overall, and you either love that or you hate it, but it doesn't really matter because, like I say, at the next level, he's a guy that once he polishes up, like I say, gets in the gym room, gets the diet, like I say, he's going to be an absolute athletic freak. But like I say, versatility. He's got the pass coverage, he's got the pass rush, he's got the run support. He's kind of that chess piece that you move around, and he's very worthy of being taken high in the draft. Like I say, CJ Allen, he's been pretty integral to what they've wanted to do. Like I say, Georgia this year. It's not been their best year, but he's been a pretty reliable, dependable figure. Like I say, he's done everything they've asked of him, and he's had a good year professionally. Like I say, I mean, kind of gets up there, but there's a lot of guys in the country that you could put here. Like I say, you're not even talking about guys like Sonny Styles and like star linebackers all over the country. The linebacker depth this year has gone crazy. Like I say, the guy out of Pitt, like I say,
Kyle Louis.
He's had an absolute tremendous year as well. Like I say, linebackers this year have just gone absolutely off the scales.
Indeed, they have. Sorry, Grandizer, you're going to have to put up with some coughing today. We've both been ill, hence why we're doing this on Thursday, not Wednesday. We're both recovering, so, you know, we're trying to work here. We're trying to bring you while we're not feeling well, so there we go. He goes, question, Arvell Reese, Ohio State, inside linebacker, do you have an NFL comp on him? I mean, again, he's taken the same journey that Micah Parsons did. Am I saying he's going to be Micah Parsons? No, but, you know, I mean, I guess would Landry be a fair one? Was Landry a linebacker in college or was he a pure edge? I feel like they used him a little bit of both. I think Harold Landry's a good comp for him, and I think that's maybe why the Titans might like him. We'll go with that one, but yeah, he took the Parsons route of starting at inside linebacker. He's not been an inside linebacker this year. They've pushed him to outside linebacker. He's a hybrid now. But he can do work off the edge, so yeah, something like Landry will probably be there, but his upside is huge. Again, he's only a junior, so he's declaring young, he's got loads of growth in front of him, and the right team gets their hands on him, his ceiling is limitless. The corners, maybe unsurprisingly, we got Leonard Moore, the sophomore out of Notre Dame, and then we've got Mansour Delane, the senior out of LSU. So Delane is definitely coming to the draft this year and is another in contention for a top 10 pick. Leonard Moore, as a sophomore, in his career, he's already got 7 interceptions and 14 pass breakups. He only gives up 50% on his receptions. He's one of the best run defending corners in the game, period. His only issue, he's got a 14% missed tackle rate, which is so-so for a corner. But outside of that, NFL passer rating against him was only 44 this year. He's going to be one of the names to watch out for next year. Probably will declare early, but 2 great lockdown corners. And if the right team again gets Delane, his ceiling is very, very high.
I mean, I feel like D'Angelo Pons could be a bit upset that that's not him. Like I say, there's a lot of guys out there that would probably have thought they're on par with Moore, if not potentially more worthy. But yeah, Mansour Delane I love. Like I say, he's just a shutdown. The turnovers weren't there this year, but the guy was holding guys to like 50% max. Like I say, in most seasons, like I say, target him, and he just does not give him any receptions. I would love to draft Mansour Delane. He's my cornerback one. He made the great move this year. He's had a great career before him. Came to LSU. He shut it down all year. Like I said, been part of a great secondary. But yeah, Moore, plenty of upside. Notre Dame, like I say, their DBs are, like I say, making a name for themselves now as playmakers. And I'm with you. Next year, takes that big leap to junior year. Like I say, declare nice and early. And yeah, you're talking about a future first round pick in 2027. So these two, yeah, definitely in their own right, very worthy. But yeah, cornerback, a pretty combative decision. Like I say, a very battling one this year. A lot of guys that you could have made a strong case for.
Yeah, indeed, you can. And then safeties, there's two are classed as safeties, one's classed as DB, but he's a safety. You got Caleb Downs out of Ohio State, the junior, obviously coming to the draft this year, probably top 10 pick. Bishop Fitzgerald, the senior from USC, my former NC State Wolfpack guy. I mean, the amount of talent we've hemorrhaged to big teams in recent years has been crazy, but Bishop Fitzgerald has been absolutely shut down for USC this year. Bull's he's a ball hawk merchant, he's a turnover merchant. I would expect him to low-key go under the radar, but I think his draft stock will shoot up not long before. People will see what he does. People want a guy who can take the ball away at safety all the time. That's all he's ever done for NC State and USC. Interceptions.
Yeah, like I say, he had some huge picks this year. Like I say, he had some big games where he took over and won some games single-handedly. Like I say, where he took over in the red zone and was able to nullify teams. Like I say, and Caleb Downs is Caleb Downs. I think he's going top 5. I think he's going to rival the highest safety taken in NFL history.
Yeah.
Can't argue with him, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. No, McNeil Warren is not in the All-Americans, right? But there is a group of 5 player who is. The third safety in the All-American category is Jakari Foster out of Louisiana Tech, the senior. He's a HBCU transfer from North Alabama. Was a rotational guy for LA Tech last year, but he's been their starter this year. Only 1 year of starting at the FBS level. Coming to the draft this year, but he's got more impact plays than receptions given up this year. He's given up 12 receptions on 25 targets, which is just 48%. He's got 7 interceptions, 4 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, and a battered pass as well. He has more impact plays on defense than receptions given up against him this year. He's 6 foot, 211 pounds, perfect size for a safety. And Louisiana Tech have put out some good DBs in recent years. Generally, most of them move on up the pyramid. He's coming here. This is a legit school, but Christ, when you've got more takeaways than receptions given up in a year, that's a pretty damn good year. And he graded at 90 in PFF.
Oh yeah, like you say, he is one of the standout G5 players of the country. Like you say, there's a lot of good G5 safeties out there. Like you say, there's a lot of guys like Benefield, Gaskin at USF,
McNeil
Warren, with some big time G5 DBs. So if you're the most prominent and make the time, let's say the year, turnovers. If you take the ball away, you do pretty well in the draft. I'm thinking of Noah Williams out of Cal. He got taken pretty high because he was just a ball hawking turnover machine. And then, like I say, some good playing time for the Chiefs. So there's a good chance Jakari Foster will see good amount of playing time potentially as a ball hawking player at the next level. And like I say, it's a special teams menace. So yeah, very worthy of being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't bet against these guys. Micah Abraham the other year. These DBs from the group of 5 are scrappy, but Jakari Foster put him on your radar. What?
Joshua Williams.
Like
I said, the guy won a Super Bowl. He's a big time playmaker for the Chiefs.
Yeah, he's won 2 Super Bowls, Joshua Williams has. Keep shouting out the HBCU guys. There we go. That is everyone in terms of the AP All-Americans. Punter Cole Maynard out of Western Kentucky. He got that. So a couple of CUSA players getting national.
The award winners for the punter and kicker didn't make this team.
No. It's an odd one, but you know what? I'm never going to be against a CUS player getting a national All-American shout out there, so fair play to him. We're going to move it on now to the group of 5 guys. So this is not the Associated Press one. This was done by Hero Sports, but we kind of want to give a shout out to some of these guys at the lower level as well, as we always do, and then we'll quickly do the FCS guys, and then that's everything for us today. So going straight in. The G5 All-Americans this year, 2 quarterbacks, Drew Mestamaker out of North Texas, shock horror, not shock horror at all, and Byron Brown out of South Florida. Gonna be intriguing as hell if he comes to the draft, but both from the American, Ryan. Not surprising, the American has been the hub of quarterback talent in the group of 5 this year, but Mestamaker was always going to win this one. 4,000 plus yards as a walk-on true freshman is just not something you see every day.
No, like you say, he's been tremendous. Like you say, his consistency, the way he's kept it up every week, and like you say, has been a tremendous asset. And like I say, Byron Brown, like I say, that's at the end of his career, like I say, it's taken on a program that has been one of the fun, neutral teams to watch this year. Like I say, he's an outstanding dual threat. Like I say, he gets those Cam Newton kind of comps because he's so physical as a runner. Like I say, he runs like Derrick Henry. Like I say, he's had a big year, shows leadership. Like I say, he's a very interesting prospect, like I said, with you. He was at that bowl game last night, sat on the sideline. Like I say, didn't play, but yeah, he's definitely got, like I say, day 3 QB vibes, like I say. I mean, Joe Fagnano can probably be the only other QB in the G5, I'd say, has a shout at being one of these two. Like I say, I feel for him there, but yeah, those 3 were the standout.
Yeah, absolutely, they were. In terms of your running backs, of course, you've got Mestamaker's running back mate Caleb Hawkins out of North Texas there, and then you've got Cam Cook out of Jacksonville State, who's been legitimately one of the best rushers in the entire country the last couple of years in a system that loves to use running backs. No surprise there for those two. For Hawkins, it's just a case of how high is he going to go as well. True freshman, putting up those gaudy numbers, 25 odd touchdowns, I think it was, and Cook won the CUSA once, nearly won it twice. I think he is coming to the draft this year, so I'm interested to see where he goes with his production. Yeah, but again, 2 very deserving winners here.
Yeah, like I say, Hawkins has been a revelation in the second half of the season, has made himself probably a serious amount of money in the portal. Like I say, Cam Cook has been at big programs. I said he's only got jacked in a offensive sim under Rich Rodriguez, and then, like I say, the new coach this year. The Gamecocks have been one of the surprise factions since coming up, and he's been one of them leading the charge. Like I say, another bowl game win. Like I say, 2 back-to-back years for Jack State, and Cam Cook has been a huge reason why they're now a prominent G5 program.
Yeah, indeed he is. In terms of the receivers, we've got 3. Skylar Bell is in there from UConn. UConn technically classify as group of 5, although they're probably not. But yeah, the Biletnikoff finalist is in. Danny Scudero, the receiver from San Jose State, who's in the portal now, leading receiver in the entire nation this year. Watch where he goes. He's following Nick Nash's footsteps, although Nash went straight to the draft from San Jose State. Scudero's going up to the Power 4, we'll see him. And then Wyatt Young from North Texas. Everybody talks about Mestamaker and Hawkins. Nobody talks about Wyatt Young. He's been the slot receiver for North Texas this year. 1,209 yards at 20 yards per reception and 10 touchdowns for him. He's at over 1,500 yards. Played a little bit as a freshman there, but this is one of Mestamaker's favourite targets. May end up going wherever he goes, but I love that core there. Scudero is going to the Power 4. Wyatt Young probably going to the Power 4. It's a class trio, this.
Yeah, one of the best trios in the country. I'd say Wyatt Young, shifty slot guy, small but compact. Like I say, runs the crispest, tidiest routes, and the most impactful players in the country. Like I say, Scudero, leading receiver in the nation, great outside guy, deep threat. Also, their second leading receiver on the team that almost had 1,000 yards has also gone in the portal. So they're becoming a bit of a product. They've sent like 2,500 yards into the portal this year. San Jose State are reeling at loss of their weapons, but yeah. And then Skylar Bell, yeah. Interesting trio. 1 for the draft and 2, like I say, lesser P4 talents, like I say, that are going to earn themselves a bit of coin this year, I think.
They are indeed. 2 tight ends. You've got Dorian Thomas out of New Mexico, the big 6'6" monster who had the 2 touchdown performance against Michigan. Would not be surprised if he entered the portal and went somewhere else before his career was done. And then Brody Foley at Tulsa. He was an Indiana transfer, didn't get his chance in Indiana. Went for 533 yards and 7 touchdowns. A very good receiving option for the Golden Hurricanes this year.
He's already getting P4 chat this week.
He's in. I keep losing track of who's in and who's out.
He's going to get like Big Ten chatter. Like I say, he's going to go to a big P4 school, big tight end. Like I say, he's such a big receiving threat in the red zone.
Oh yeah, and everyone, of course, covets that very much. So we'll see where he ends up. But those are your two tight ends. In terms of your offensive line, we got the five guys: Travis Burke out of Memphis, Chaudry Hurst out of Tulane, Cage Casey out of Boise State, Pat McMurty, the right tackle, out of James Madison, and Gabe Blair out of North Texas. Obviously the big name in there. Cage Casey is coming to the draft. Had first round hype at the start of the year, which has kind of fallen off, but he's probably still going in the top 2 days.
Yeah, Casey declared this week, like say, was a prominent, like say, with you, like say, 100 to 200, like say, tackle, a potential prospect as a swing guy at the next level. But yeah, like say, if you can get him on day 3, you might get a potential steal, because the guy's got a lot of experience under his belt, heavily at rep count, like say, a good potential, like say, maybe future long-term projects that may well end up being a starter one day at next level. So yeah, he's a big time prospect for the Broncos this year.
Yeah, and McMurty down at James Madison, he's been a Bob Chesney guy his entire career. Started at Holy Cross, went to James Madison. He's got 3,100 snaps at right tackle, which is absolutely insane. So there is some good experience coming out of the group of 5 this year. And then the what do they call it now? The all-purpose player is Wayne Knight, the running back out of James Madison. 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns for him this year. Not been talked about very much in terms of like running backs coming out this year, but this is probably one of the group of 5 crushers if you're looking at running backs this year. If he declares, but he's been in college 4 years now, you figure he'll give it a go.
Yeah, I think so. Like you say, he's got a chance to have a big playoff game and really make a name for himself there. But yeah, he had like 230 all-purpose yards in the title game. He practically won the title game for them. The guy is a big-time, big game player. And as you say, running back, but also kick returner, punt returner. Invaluable experience he's got in those facets of the game, which will most certainly help his draft stock. But yeah, if he can put on a display, like say, in the playoff game, and have a good game, then yeah, the scouts will definitely sit up and take notice of him.
They will indeed. Moving on to the defensive side for the group of 5, we've got 5 linemen. My word, we've got Landon Robinson out of Navy, we've already mentioned him, he gets the group of 5 accolade as well. Nadame Tucker out of Western Michigan, spent 3 years doing nothing at Houston, went to Western Michigan this year, 14 sacks, 62 overall quarterback pressures, 3 forced fumbles, a pass breakup, an NFL rating against him of below 40, 41 tackles as well. You would never bet against these. You would never bet against the Mac Edge options. I mean, again, he can stay in college, but like these Western Michigan guys, they're in the NFL. They're playing now, a lot of them.
Yeah, like I said, the MAC has sent a lot of defensive lines. I'm thinking of Darius from Toledo.
Yeah.
Like I say, last year, year before? Like I say, went very high. Like I say, made some instant impact as a rookie. Like I say, Nealand, like I say, big name player. Like I say, unfortunately cut short. Like I say, was a prominent NFL player. A lot of MAC guys recent years that are making the step up next level. And the Broncos, what a great year they've had. And he's been one of the guys that's led from the front. So yeah, definitely deserves a bit of love for how big Western Michigan's year's been.
It does. And on this list as well, another MAC edge, Nathan Voorhees, the Ball State edge, the Bryant transfer. He's had 11 sacks this year, 46 overall pressures, forced fumble for him as well. There are some highly productive guys in the MAC this year, and if they don't come to college, if they don't come to the NFL, I would expect them to go in the portal and get themselves some big jobs elsewhere. And then you've got Dylan LaBarbera from Nevada. Talked about him a few weeks ago in one of the group of 5 teams to watch. He's a absolute stud. I don't know if he's gone in the portal yet, but he should do probably for his last year. And then you've got Trey White out of San Diego State. We're going to get the next undersized edge out of the Mountain West, who's been incredibly productive his entire career. And we've seen there's been sort of a love-hate thing with these really productive guys out of the Mountain West in recent years around the edge position. Camara, guys like that, they've done nothing but be great. He's got 21 sacks in his last 2 seasons, nearly 100 quarterback pressures. Like, 6'2", 255, an inch too small, but frame-wise, he's fine. Like, I'm intrigued. I think he should probably go in the first couple of days. But we're going to see another pinch point now as for what the NFL thinks of the Mountain West.
Yeah, I'd say a guy that's following suit of a productive, undersized guy with the frame that there'll be question marks about the next level of competition, how well it'll hold up. But yeah, the tape, the eye test, he passes everything. Like I say, it'll just be the measurables that knock him. But yeah, a guy that, I'm with you, ultimately production talent it'll rise to the top, and I'm with you. A guy taken on day 2 that, like I say, will have to prove himself again, like he's in back on the first day of high school, be back in like special teams, trying to make his way onto the roster. But yeah, a guy that could be a core kind of guy at the next level.
Yes, absolutely, he will be. Moving into the linebackers, we've got 5 here. Byron Parham from UConn. We've got Trent Hendrick from James Madison. Red Murdoch from Buffalo. Owen Long from Colorado State. And Jackson Eck of New Mexico, son of Jason Eck, who runs that team.
Murdoch is there. He's got to be the highlight, one of the best linebackers in the country this year.
Dolak last year, Red Murdoch this year. There's something in the water in Buffalo that just gets these guys going at the linebacker position, right? Then you got Byron Parham as well out of UConn. 11 sacks for him this year. The Washington transfer was a menace at San Jose State. He's got like over 2,200 career snaps. But he's had an amazing year. Another Husky who's just absolutely balled out. Jim Moore has got the best out of all these guys. And then Trent Hendrick at James Madison has just been the engine room of that Duke's defense. I mean, there's a lot to love here.
Yeah, this is one of probably the best position groups so far. You've got a lot of guys. 1, extremely versatile. 2, very experienced. There's thousands of snaps between them. Stay healthy, stay on the field. They can do it, like I said, they're all pretty much all perfect in the run game. They're all very sound at moving through traffic, coming downhill. Like I say, some are better, but like I say, there's a lot of coverage skills here. But yeah, a lot of these guys can get to the quarterback. They're more than traditional linebackers. They've got the finishing skills of edge rushers. Like I say, they've got a lot of production. They've got a lot of sacks to their names. Yeah, a very well-rounded group, and a lot of them can expect to have their name called. If not, as soon as, like I say, round 7 ends, have their form be blowing up.
Yeah, absolutely, they can. And then finishing off with the DBs, we've got 5 again. We've got Chris Johnson, the corner out of San Diego State. The safety, Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo. There you go, Grandizer. The other is running mate there, Braden Owls, another from Toledo. You've got Boogie Trotter from Marshall. You've got Josh Moten from Southern Miss as well. We've mentioned him. For those who don't know, Chris Johnson, right, out of San Diego State, widely considered to be the best prospect coming out of the group of 5 for the draft this year. His numbers have been insane. He got his first career sack this year. They've used him a bit more as a blitzer, but 51 tackles, he missed 3 of them. He's got a missed tackle rate over his career of 5% for a corner. He's played 2,000 snaps. That's insanely low. 3 forced fumbles. But in coverage this year, he's given up 18 receptions on 43 targets. That is less than 42% given up. He's got 4 interceptions, 5 pass breakups. NFL QB passer rating against him, 16.1. You want a lockdown corner out of the group of 5 this year, Rye. Chris Johnson is that guy. His numbers have been incredible, and you know he is rightly considered the best G5 prospect in the draft this year.
Yeah, QBs fear him. They only target him when they have to. He's one of those cornerbacks that the numbers, like I say, you just don't look his way. You just don't want to go after him. And usually that's the biggest respect to quarterback compared to a corner, is when you don't want to ball at him. Because it usually means, like I say, your guy's not open. He is as tight and as sticky as they come in coverage, like you say. And then, like you say, when he's playing off in a bit of zone and not man, or like you say, he's got to come downhill, like you say, the swing passes, the screen game, where you've got to have, like you say, the polished big tackling. You can't just come down recklessly. He's as polished as he come right now. One of the best G5 tacklers in the class. Like you say, doesn't overcommit. The angles aren't bad. He's not looking for the blow him up hit. It's more like, say, bring him down, wrap him up. like I say, and get the job done there and then, like I say. So he doesn't have the bad traits that a lot of G5 DBs have, that where they just go for the money shot. And then they end up humiliated when, like I say, they just bounce off them. He's a lot more robust and smart on that.
Yeah, indeed. And then the other one in here, Josh Moten. He must have been on one of my to-watch teams previous. We've mentioned him before. 6 foot, 185 pounds. 10 interceptions in the last 2 years for the Southern Miss Golden Eagle. He was one of Charles Huff's guys at Marshall. Moved to Southern Miss this year. But yeah, 10 interceptions. 5% missed tackle rate for him this year. 2 pass breakups as well. Is a little bit penalised. 6 this year, but in terms of another guy coming out of the Sun Belt who is just as locked down as they come when they're in coverage, Josh Moten's another guy in there as well. And then you've got your Toledo pairing, McNeil Warren and Alls. Like McNeil Warren, he's probably going to eventually get the same treatment that is, he's obviously at safety, but Toledo DBs, you can kind of trust on them as a good byproduct now. McNeil Warren again is another who has like 10 interceptions to his name over the last 2 years, just crazy productive. Going to be the next rocket to go high in the draft.
Yeah, I'd say he's already becoming a household name. Mock drafts, see him in a lot of them now. Like I say, is a day 2 safety that'll start as a rotation, but could potentially win a full-time job within the first couple of years of playing. Someone that we are highly respected at a position that, like I say, is very deep, but he's a name right now to watch out for. So someone that's going to benefit from this pre-draft cycle more than many.
Indeed. Grandizer says, before this college football season started, you both had your list of players who might have a good year. Maybe in a future stream, can you do a look back on that list? We will, Grandizer. Obviously, the season is still ongoing for some of them. We'll do the list when the playoffs are officially done, because Ryan's got some in the FCS as well who I think are still knocking around, and obviously I've still got some guys in the playoffs, but we will go back. We hold ourselves to account on this podcast. Don't you worry. I think we've done pretty well this year, if I remember rightly. Don't forget your QBs. No, we will not. And then we're moving it on to the last bit of the evening. We've got the FCS All-Americans, and this is the AP FCS All-Americans. So this is the national one. So we're going to go through these. And at quarterback, a guy you hold in very high regard, right? You said to watch out for him in the playoffs. In his limited appearances in the playoffs, he did well. But the quarterback, Bo Brungard, out of Youngstown State, the senior, who I would assume would have to come to the draft this year.
Yeah. Like you say, the favourite for the Walter Payton, the FCS Heisman, a very polished upset. I think before the playoffs started, might say we had them. What did I say? He was at like 50, he was at like 60 touchdowns and like 4 turnovers on the year before that playoffs even started. He was by far the best ratio of all the QB in the country, and it limited play interference. But yeah, in that Yale game, he absolutely, I'd say, put their defense to the sword and proved why. I can't see no way he doesn't win the award. He's been by far the most impactful offensive player, and yeah, definitely a sleeper QB in the draft. Got the build, got the production, got the pedigree as a long-time start, and yeah, he's done great work at the Penguins. And this year has just been like, he's been playing like a Madden easy mode. He just makes the game look so slow.
Yeah, and speaking of Madden easy mode, we go on to the running backs. They've got 2 of them, both sophomores, both very young. You've got Rodney Nelson from Monmouth, and then you've got Joshua Dye from Southern Utah. He has rushed this year alone for 1,822 yards and 28 rushing touchdowns. He has had one game against San Diego State from the FBS where he didn't clear 100 yards. Oh, sorry, and another against West Georgia. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 100-yard games, 8 in a row to end the season. I mean, you talk about video game numbers. He's a sophomore. He's young as. I think he was a redshirt. He's a redshirt sophomore as well because he was at UTEP last year. Didn't get a look in at UTEP. Those video game numbers, he'd probably come into the FBS next year.
Oh yeah, Southern Utah won't be able to hold on to him, unfortunately. Not a big enough program, and he's just lightning in a bottle. Like I say, he went on a tear to end the year. He's put up incredible numbers. Like I say, he is one of the outstanding FCS talents to watch. And yeah, he may surpass the top FCS talents to come straight to the G5. Like I said, we've seen lots of them in recent years just skip that level altogether, straight to the FBS, straight to the G5. But yeah, one of the most production players all know here. And like I say, and then Rodney. Like I think about Monmouth, Dylan Laub. Like I said a couple of years ago, that Monmouth sent that running back to the draft. And he's playing in the NFL now. Monmouth, their offense in recent years has been absolutely electric. They were a team this year very disappointed to miss the playoffs because they're a big point offense, like you say. And he's one of the best players in the country too, yeah. So two outstanding players at that position.
Absolutely. Keep a very close eye out for them. In terms of your receivers, pretty sure there's another guy you've mentioned during the year, Marquise Buchanan from Rhode Island. He's their hybrid receiver, but 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns for him this year. You got Josh Derry out of Monmouth again. These two are both juniors as well, so they've got time left. And then, of course, you've got Bryce Lantz out of North Dakota State, and this is his time to go to the draft. We wondered if it'd be last year, but he's come in this year.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's a great FCS product. 6'4", 225, built just like his brother Trey, been running back, like say, good outside physical presence, great in the red zone. He is an X, like you say, and he should have a fairly strong draft pre-cycle, like you say. He's got the size, he's got the weight, he's got the frame, he's got the production. Like you say, he's had a very good college career, been very successful. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if he had a better NFL career than his brother, despite probably going at least 3 or 4 rounds after him. Like I say, he offers a lot of potential. And you just saw what happened with Jalen Coker, another 6'4" FCS receiver that's now become a staple of the Carolina Panthers offense. So there's no reason at all to sleep on Bryce Lantz, like I say, all these small school guys. So yeah, should do very well. And then yeah, the other 2 guys, juniors, both have got decisions to make. Like I say, maybe staying, like I say, transfer to a team that's guaranteed to make the playoffs next year. Like I say, it'd be very interesting to see what they do. It'd be a great trio of offensive, explosive playmakers.
Indeed. The tight end is Chris Corbo from Dartmouth. He will be coming to the draft this year. He's got 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns for Dartmouth over the last 2 years. He's also one of the better pass-blocking tight ends in this draft, which is probably going to do him well. He's 6'5", 245, so he's got some good weight behind him. And again, you see with the FCS tight ends over the recent years who have made a splash. Yeah. You got guys like that. He went up the chain.
And now he's a big name in the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
The tight end this year at the FBS, I've been disappointed by them. So this guy's got a big chance to make a name for himself this year.
Yes, indeed you do. In terms of the offensive linemen, we've got 5. We've got Titan Fleischman from Montana State. He's a junior. We've got Quinton Christensen from South Dakota State, also a junior. Griffin Empey from North Dakota State. He's a sophomore. You've got Delby Lemieux from Dartmouth. He's a senior. And I don't know why you've not told me about this beforehand, but we've got the center from North Dakota State, Trent Fraley, son of Hank Fraley. How did we not know that our offensive line coach...
I didn't know who was his dad, though.
How did we not know that the Detroit Lions offensive line coach has a center son in college right now? He's playing for the Bison. Yeah.
Kids.
He is. So Trent Fraley is a junior at North Dakota State. He's their starting center. He is the son of Hank Fraley. So we literally, if we need a centre for the Lions, we've got Hank's son at North Dakota State, and it's not like these North Dakota State linemen can't come to the NFL and play well.
No. Hank may say, I'm leaving unless you draft my son. And then it looks like we're drafting his son. But I'd say, it's no surprise to one here in an Ivy League school on the offensive line, because the Ivy League, my God, do they do good offensive linemen and defensive tackles. That is a trench conference. They've got big old linemen. And then the rest of them. South Dakotas, North Dakotas, Montana States, yeah. You hear the big boy names, but I'd say we've seen in recent years, like you say, the FCS offensive linemen always do very well. Because, like I say, they've got a lot of snaps under their belt. And they play at an incredibly high level. Like I say, if you can stop anyone, like I say, it doesn't matter the level of competition you're playing against. If you're a polished tackle, you've got the size, the weight, the footwork, Don't matter who you go up against. They will all expect to have their names called. If not, like you say, go later on this year.
Yeah, I want my offensive lineman to be called Titan. Titan Fleischman is the best name ever. The Montana State. Well, he was their right tackle last year. He was their guard this year. He's 6'4", 300 pounds, so probably built to be a guard. But I want an offensive lineman called Titan. And it was who was the guard they had last year, Montana State? The one we probably loved the hell out of. Do you remember him? It was their right guard.
Yeah.
It's probably who is replaced. I can't remember his name now. I swear he got drafted though. Or he'll be knocking around on a team somewhere. I can't remember. It's the Montana State right guard last year. Was absolutely tremendous. Grandizer goes, when you mentioned Bournemouth, I thought of FCS sensation Jaden Sheridan, the running back. I thought he'd land on a team and be a solid running back. Didn't he go is he in Canada now, Jaden Sheridan?
Think he might have gone to the CFL?
I think he's in Canada, isn't he, at the minute? But I was surprised. He had you were right, Grandizer. That's a good remembrance, that is. But Sheridan was the guy from Monmouth a couple of years ago that got everyone going. But not all of them make it, but, they have a good chance. Keep an eye out for Trent Fraley, son of Hank, starting centre for the North Dakota State Bison. I'm surprised even Milemarker didn't know. Milemarker's a Bison fan, so I feel like Milemarker has been slacking. And then the all-purpose player, we've got Michael Wortham from Montana, another one of your Grizz guys.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the most electric returners in the country.
5'9", 190. He's one of them smaller guys, isn't he? But could just do about everything. He's got like 1,000 yards as a receiver, hasn't he? Didn't he go nuts in the game against South Dakota this week? Like, he went absolutely crazy. But yeah, just one of these electric slot guys who's just all over the place. Let's just take his kick return in. 695 yards this year at 26 yards of return. So, he's going to easily find a way. And out of that Eastern Washington system, again, Eastern Washington loves sending receivers to the draft. But, Michael Wortham is the guy there. And the kicker is Nick Reed out of New Hampshire. Defensive line, we've got 4. We've got Joshua Stoneking from Furman, the sophomore. Andrew Zock from Mercer, also a sophomore. We've got Lando Brown from Southern Utah, the senior. And then we've got Keyshawn Johnson from UT Martin, the junior. Quite a young class of...
the portal. And he's a big-time Mercer Bear player. Serious sacking linebacker, serious sack merchant in recent years. Zock has been incredibly productive. I expect him to land on a G5 program this year. He's had 2 stellar years in one of the best defenses in the FCS.
And he's young as well, isn't he? He's as a sophomore. He's got what? Jesus Christ! He's got 19 sacks, and he started since he was a true freshman. He's got 101 quarterback pressures, and he's not even a junior. That's just Madden stuff.
I think he's on the FCS freak athlete list as well as a freshman.
6'2", 250, 101 quarterback pressures, 19 sacks. He's got 4 batted passes, 4 forced fumbles. Good Lord, that is crazy. Screw Power 5. Group of 5. He might get a power call. But obviously his head coach has just gone to Toledo. Did he go to Toledo, the Mercer head coach? I think he's gone there. Yeah. So, Christ, you put him at Toledo after what Alexander did the other year. He could get drafted from Toledo if he wants to carry on and go and ruin the MAC. But, yeah, Zock is one to watch. Your linebackers, we've got Ty Niekamp from Illinois State, the junior. We've got AJ Pena from Rhode Island, the senior. And then James Conway, the Fordham grad. Is he the one who just broke the all-time...
He broke the tackle record
in the FCS, like 500...
554 tackles this year.
What did he end up at?
I think he finished the year with nearly 570.
I don't know
like I say, is the longest, most tackles in NFL in FCS history.
He is. So here it's showing 387 solo and 150 regular tackles. That is 533
I think
it's
the
showing
record was like 525 or something.
533 tackles, 204 run stops, 7 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, 8 sacks. Got 5 sacks this year. That was his. They seem to have modified his role this year. He's been more of a pass rusher this year as well. So if he's got versatility as a pass rusher, like Jesus, that's absolutely insane.
Super experienced guy. The guy's barely missed a snap his entire career at Fordham. Like I say, he'll go down as a legend. Like the Ty Nykamp I mentioned in last year's FCS.
I knew you had. The name sounded really familiar, and I'm thinking, I thought he was a draft prospect last year, but...
Yeah, decided to come back for another year, like I say, but yeah, very productive linebacker.
Oh, thank you, Grandis.
Pena, like I say, is another guy, tweener. Like I said, Rhode Island use him as an edge rusher as well.
Yeah, I like the look of him. He's a senior, so probably going to have to come this year. Thank you, Grandizer. Marcus Vare, that's who the Montana State guard was last year.
The right tackle. The right guard.
The right guard, absolute beast as well. So thank you, Grandizer. I appreciate that. I can't remember everything here, and we appreciate that. And then the DBs, we got
I'm going to guess Caden Dowler has to be one.
He's the very first one. Yeah, Caden Dowler from Montana State, just a junior. You've got Kemal Clark from Indiana State, Cassius Kearns from Tarleton State, and Maximus Pulley from Wofford. But yeah, Dowler, I know you're big on.
Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year. Like I say, probably best overall, well-rounded, strong safety in the thing. And like I say, depending on what happens in the playoffs, I could see him entering the draft. I could see him declaring as underclassman as a junior. Like you say, he offers special teams versatility. Like you say, he's so well-rounded. Like you say, he got the pick 6 against Montana Grizz. Like you say, he's got a ton of forced fumbles. Like you say, he's very strong. Like you say, a very good supporting strong safety. One of the best players in all the FCS this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Cassius Kearns, the Tarleton State senior corner. Sorry, I think it's a safety, actually. 5'10", 170. 6 interceptions, 5 pass breakups for him this year. A couple of forced fumbles in the degree as well. But he's been one of these Tarleton State guys where he's got over 2,300 snaps for them in the last 3 years alone. He's one of the best run defending safeties in the FCS. And again, he's coming to the draft this year because he spent some time in JUCO first. There's a lot of names here we'll be hearing down the line. Yeah,
plenty of these guys will have their names called, like I say, and will be all over the camp invites, like I say, getting their... like I say, a lot of them you'll see at the Senior Bowl. You'll see them at the Shrine Bowl, the Hula Bowl in coming years as well. Like I say, a lot of the big-time FCS talents find their way there.
Exactly, they do. And then to finish it all off, the punter Ben D'Aquila from Northern Arizona. He is a senior. That is your All-American teams, your consensus All-Americans for the FBS and the FCS, and a reputable one done for the G5 as well. But again, we will go into these names deeper as the draft season comes along, because we're not really into draft season just yet. We're still on the periphery of it, but a lot of good names, a lot of good talent at all 3 levels there. There you go. Grandizer goes, anytime, yes. I kept thinking about that when you mentioned it. He was the one who seemed a mock draft darling on various channels I follow. Marcus Vare was. There was him, and there was another guard that I was pulling massively for. The other one was a group of 5 guy, and again, I've forgotten who he is, and will not remember that, but yeah. We go through so many prospects on here. It's crazy. Think that are all the sections I had planned for tonight. Grandizer, if you have any other questions, Grandizer, while we're here, let us know. We will, of course, do our look back on our pre-season to watch teams when we get there. We're into mock draft territory next week. We'll do our end of season quote-unquote mock drafts. We do the half-season one. We'll do the end of season one next week to see how our opinions have changed, and obviously as people declare and don't declare. The Lions now have an extra 4th round pick as well, which we need to take into consideration, so there's plenty on that front. I guess we can quickly talk portal before we get out of here, and the transfer portal has gone mad, right, specifically around quarterbacks. Now, for those who know, you can go in the portal now You know, it's fine to go in at this point. You can't start committing until this new 2-week window in January, which I believe starts either January the 2nd. I think it's January the 2nd to the 16th, if I remember rightly. So you can go in now. But it's the quarterbacks who are making all the noise this year. Right? There are a lot of top quarterbacks going in. We've got Brendan Sorsby, the Cincinnati quarterback. He has gone in. I know he's getting suited by Texas Tech. Obviously, your own Sam Levitt has gone in. DJ Lagway, the Florida quarterback, is in the portal. Dylan Raiola, the Nebraska quarterback, is in the portal. Drew Mestamaker has gone in. Kenny Minchie has gone in the portal as well. He was the backup at Notre Dame. Colton Joseph, the Old Dominion quarterback, is going in, and he's getting some love to Florida State, which would absolutely kill me. Aiden Childs is in there as well. I mean, this is going to be a fascinating QB market. Obviously with guys like Sorsby and Levitt at the top, and then everything else will move around it. But the quarterbacks are not staying put now. They're making moves.
Yeah. It's all NIL and it's all money. It's all going to be essentially the highest bidder wins. Like I say, and it's... Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I say, with Brendan Sorsby's girlfriend committing to Texas Tech as, like, I think a volleyball player. Like, the comments are just flooded with, like, say, game to come. Like I say, and he does kind of make sense for their offense as well. Like I say, he would fit them very naturally. Like I say, he's one of the most underrated QBs in the country. Like I say, Levitt getting heavily linked with, like, say, Florida, Miami, big programs like that can commit the big money to him. Like you say, he's had a tumultuous career ending. Like you say, he's didn't turn up to the end of year awards. Like you say, he's not at the practices for the bowl. Like you say, he's kind of just gone MIA. And like I say, Dillingham just... Yeah, lavishes with nothing but praise, wants to talk about him, but it's very uncertain times for the staff and the players at ASU, like I say. But yeah, I think if he lands at the right school, Levitt, probably he's got all the talent of a first-round quarterback in 2027, like I say. But yeah, I mean, Colton Joseph is a West Coast kid, and a lot of Sun Devils fans are pulling to bring in Colton Joseph, like I say, after a great year there for ODU. So it'd be very interesting to see. But yeah, Minchin had to ride the bench a bit this year. He's not coming to the portal with much hype, so it's going to be interesting to see how he follows on. Dylan Raiola coming off that bad injury. Like I say, Texas Tech not expected to pursue him. He's had good stats, but yeah, he feels like a wild card, could really go anywhere. Like I say, should be well pursued. TJ Finley's in the portal for the 7th year, looking for his 7th team. Don't know how, don't know where. Like I say, he's tried every conference possible. Who knows where he'll go. Aiden Childs. I mean, it feels like Aiden Childs has been forced out because Milivojevic he did really well at the end of the season, didn't it? Like I say, he kind of looked strong. It felt like he kind of, like say, usurped him. I can't see Childs having super strong a market. It has disappointed. Like I say, he has been very up and down with players. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm with you. Like I said, there's a lot of big names that we've still got to make decisions of, like I say, depending on how the playoffs go. But yeah, the race is heating up. Like I say, there's going to be a lot of money spent on the quarterback market in the portal.
Yeah, there is. Say, you just don't know where I don't know where Lagway's going.
I'd say Lagway's a weird one. Like I say, it feels like, is he going to get a better place to be in Florida? Does he just not want to play for Summerall? But apparently there's rumours like Summerall doesn't like him. Yeah. Like saying just they won't with gel. And I can kind of buy that if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes the head coach wants his own quarterback, and well, sometimes you've just got to give him a little gently push, and they'll do the rest for you. Like I said, Lagways. Don't let the door hit in the back for you. DJ came in with all the hype in the world. I would like to see him land at the right team and rediscover that Gatorade Player of the Year form. I just don't know what the right program is for him.
No. Grandizer asks, which college QB who has entered the portal may have the greatest success? A really good move where they can increase their stock potentially. I mean, who's going in the portal? Oh, that was quick. Brendan Sorsby.
Sorsby goes to the right program. He's 6'4", 225. Got a big arm, a rusher. Honestly, if he goes out next year and has like a Heisman season, you're talking probably sleeper, top 50, like say maybe a round 2 Will Levis kind of selection. The guy could fly up draft boards.
See, it's interesting. The 2 schools he's been named to most, Texas Tech, as you said. Indiana's the other one.
Yeah, I saw Indiana big. And I think Indiana would be the better choice.
He started at Indiana. He was at Indiana when Cignetti arrived, but obviously Cignetti brought in Curtis Rourke with him. But I would low-key like that. Like, if he went to Indiana, of course, I think he's going to boost his stock.
Yeah, it could go back, yeah. But I mean, yeah, the logical move is he ends up as a Red Raider, and he instantly beats Will Howard, the freshman, for the job next year. It'd be his offense.
Yeah. I mean, I think if I was going to answer this, I guess
what's Darren Martin doing? Isn't he a junior?
No,
or a redshirt?
He's going to the draft, I think. I think he's been in too long now.
I didn't think he's that eligibility, but yeah, interesting, like I say, yeah. Interesting to see what happens.
I mean, obviously the easy one to say would be Mestamaker, if he's at a Power 4 team and he does the job there, but I feel like that's kind of a cheat given he's the leading passer in all of college this year. So
I would like to see Mestamaker to TCU.
The one that's terrifying me, if it happens, is if CJ Bailey goes in. And now Hollywood Smothers has gone. If CJ Bailey goes in, I
didn't think it would have happened before, but I now see Smothers gone. If true sophomore Bailey after a great year, yeah, it kind of feels like he's destined.
If CJ Bailey hits the,
haven't you?
Yeah,
you've got a really good freshman.
Oh yeah, we've got backup for him, but if CJ, like, people will be hitting up CJ Bailey. He is so good as a dual threat as well. He's lanky as well. He's tall. He's got a good arm on him. I love him to death. If CJ Bailey goes in the portal, that will be my answer instantly. Some top program will snap him up and he will look like an absolute star.
People still in the portal. My first name is Bo Pribula.
Oh, Bo Pribula's, yeah. I've said this now.
Why?
I'll take this bet with you now. Tenor, he's Iowa's starting quarterback next year. Because I believe Iowa offered him when Missouri did. He obviously knows the Big Ten. He's not going to be the most expensive guy there. And obviously Gronowski's not going to be there next year, is he? He was a 1-year guy.
No, he's a 1 year. He's a senior.
At least with Pribula, I think they've still got 2 years with him. But I am 99% certain Bo Pribula will start at Iowa next year. Because I don't think he's going to get an offer higher than that. I don't think he's done well.
Or Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, what was it?
Yeah, he's a Big Ten QB.
11 touchdowns to 9 interceptions last year. Like, the numbers are just not good, and he's had Ahmad Hardy carrying him all season. So he has not earned the right to go to a really big program. I don't think he'll get much, but yeah, if Bailey goes in, he's going to be amazing. So, but yeah, Sorsby, Grandizer, like Ryan says, is probably the one who will benefit the most. Brent goes, is Barham coming out for the draft? I'm assuming you mean the Michigan linebacker. If I'm right, he is still a junior right now. But I guess it depends what the... Oh no, he's the edge. Sorry, not a linebacker. I'll get told off for that. Oh no, he's a 4-year. No, he will come to the draft this year. 2 years at Maryland, 2 at Michigan. His run defense grade at Michigan is 88. 6'3", 243. Don't know if the Lions look at him at that size, I'm going to be pissed. Because all the undersized guys I've liked, just because he comes from Michigan. But he will go to the draft, Brent. He's got 4 starting years behind him now. So he's got no more eligibility left. So interested to see how he does. No way Trent Fraley enters the draft. He's a junior this year. So I would doubt it. I didn't check how long he'd been a starter there, but I would assume if it's not this year, I think it's next year he's slated to really knock through for. And I think he's been starter there for the last 2 years. So he started at Marshall, so he can declare if he wants. He's given up 1 sack and 1 quarterback hit over the last 2 years. He's an excellent pass blocker, 6'1". 303, so 6'1", some would say is short for a centre, but I don't know. I would assume he'll stay 1 more. Generally, the North Dakota State guys come out later, don't they? None of them declare it. They usually have like 4 good years behind them before they come. So I think Trent Fraley might wait till next year, but if the Lions still need a centre by then then who knows? Maybe we'll have another Fraley on the team. Barham gives me Jihad Campbell vibes. Possibly. I would have to see him a little bit more there. How many centres will you be breaking down names? 6. I think I've got 6. 2 bona fides, 2 maybes, and 2 unknowns. There's going to be a tier system of them. And I love my unknowns. So that's all you're getting for now. Which college bowl games will you be watching? Is there anything you've particularly got your eye on, Ryan, in terms of the bowl games? And I must admit, I watched the Old Dominion one last night. I'm glad that Old Dominion won. But are there any specifically that you're looking at? I know NC State played Memphis, so I'm gonna watch that one. But are there any others that really take your eye?
No, I mean Duke, Arizona State should probably be an offensive slugfest. I mean Darian Mensah, it could be Darian Mensah's last game. Darian Mensah's getting a lot of draft love.
Yes, that's going to be the weird because Arch Manning's coming back to college. Lenoris Sellers is coming back to college. So we're going to see a knock-on effect, right? The more these guys at the top go, there's going to be an opportunity for guys like Mensah to sneak into the first round when these guys drop out, aren't they? So I think it all depends on Dante Moore right now. Because Dante Moore's only, he's a 1-year starter at Oregon. He had 1 year at UCLA. But I don't think Dante Moore will come out in this draft, do you? I think it would be a mistake.
I don't think he should.
I think it would be a mistake. If Dante Moore goes back to college for 1 more year, you will see a lot of QBs on the periphery who will chance it then. Because, I mean, who else is there really outside of Mendoza? Who's like going to be good draft eligible this year? I don't think there's that many, to be fair. Like Nussmeier, no. If Dante Moore doesn't declare, then I would say Darian Mensah should declare. I think
at this point, Caleb Klubnik, like you say, he's going to have to come back. I thought his year was so bad, he's going to need his senior year. I can't believe I was saying that after last year. I had him first overall in 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the QB thing's going to be interesting. I think the class is going to be very thin this year, like very thin. A lot of these guys will come back. I assume Aller will have to go unless he gets a medical red shirt, which I know he's trying to do. But yeah, the top end of the QB class this year is weak. Mendoza is great, but after that, there's a big drop-off. Other bowl games. Of course, I'll watch the Hawaii bowl game. They're playing Cal, which should be fun. Minnesota play New Mexico, I think, as well. I will watch that because I do like this New Mexico team. So we'll see what's going on there. But I think outside of that, I'm not sure. Army play UConn, so that'll be fun. I'm a UConn fan. Brent's an Army fan, so we got a little battle going on there. Gophers QB staying put or in the portal? I would assume Drake will. Is he in the portal?
No, I think he's staying put.
Yeah, I think he'll stay put as well. Yeah. I think he should stay there.
He's sophomore year anyway. If he gets sick of PJ Fleck, he'll transfer as a junior.
I think he should stay there. All I can think of, Ijaboy's in there at the minute. Ijaboy's gone into the portal, the running back. But yeah. I think Drake should stay there. I think he fits that system well. I think it'll be a good place for him to learn. Have another good year there, and if you want to go big in the Big Ten, then go in the portal next year. But I don't think he's done enough this year to show that he's going to get a big job very soon. So, yeah, we'll move out from that. I think, have I answered all the questions? I heard this QB been mentioned who may get some attention. Diego Pavia. Pavia's in this conversation as well, but Pavia's 5'9", even though the Heisman voters said he was 6 foot, which is the biggest crock in history.
Poor guy, Pavia's down there.
He's like Mario next to Luigi, and they said, "Oh, he's 6 foot tall." It's one of the most blatant lies in history. I don't know. I'm with you.
Going to get drafted.
Where? I think the trouble is that I don't think there's going to be that many QBs knocking around this year. Not good ones, anyhow. So I feel like he could sneak into a day 2 scenario.
Yeah. Round 4 or 5, probably. Something like that,
yeah. He's probably a day 3 guy, but he may sneak up depending on who's in. Sam Levitt is in the portal, Grandizer. He ain't declaring this year. He's going to a big bigger school next year. So yeah, he's not going to the draft. Again, there's a lot of these guys who are not going, unless, can he go this year? I suppose he can.
He can, yeah.
So again,
he's a redshirt junior.
Again, Sam Levitt will fall into this category where I think they'll wait and see what Dante Moore does. If Dante Moore doesn't declare, that's 2 of the 3 quarterbacks who were said they were going to go in the top 10 potentially done for. They're not going. Sellers was a round 1 quarterback. Someone would have picked Arch as a round 1 quarterback. They're all going back to college. So maybe Levitt does a role reverse and decides he wants to go to the NFL. It's all, sometimes it's tactical. If you get a very weak class, then sometimes it benefits you to go in it because you will get drafted higher.
All knock on Levitt so far has been health. Like I say, because he's had the Lisfranc surgery. And he's got, like I say, the foot recovery. That's probably the only thing that means he has to come back.
Yeah, depends how long it takes for him to...
Yeah, if he has a big year next year, Levitt will have probably taken pretty high in 2027 because he's probably the best runner of, like say, definitely better runner than, like say, he's up there with Marcel Reed and Lenoris Sellers as a dual threat with his legs.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think he could do it on an NFL team easy. Just depends entirely on what class is this year. So we will see. Right, I think we've just answered about everything. I'm going to go through all the next shows and everything. So Brent, Grandizer, if there's anything else you want to ask before we get out of here, this is your chance to do so now. Next shows on the Main Lines podcast, it will be our Pittsburgh Steelers preview. Do or die, win or go home for the Lions this week, and it's Aaron Rodgers coming to town, who we all hate. So that, I think, is either going to be Friday or Saturday. It depends. It'll be a late one. It'll be early evening for you guys over there, but we'll be back for that. And then, of course, me and Ryan will be back in a week. We'll be looking at the first round of the FBS Playoffs, which is going to be fun. The FCS semi-finals, we'll be reviewing them as well, and then it'll be mock draft season. So we'll do our mock drafts as well. So yeah, we've got a lot. We've got a lot to go through, and as I say, it'll get more and more draft orientated as we go along. I assume next week is going to be. It might not be on Wednesday because obviously Christmas is next week. We'll see how Christmas falls. It'll be Christmas Eve, so I might do it earlier. Are you alright to do it earlier in the week, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably do the Tuesday because it's Christmas Eve on Wednesday. It's my birthday on Sunday, and then it's Christmas on Thursday. So we need to try and fit it in when we're not out getting absolutely plastered. So yeah, that'll be that'll be fun. But yeah, we'll be back with all that good sort of stuff. Grandizer goes, before I forget, your thoughts on Keith Abney II out of Arizona State, an outside cornerback or slot cornerback at the NFL level. How high are you both on him? I'm going to hand this over to the resident ASU fan. Abney, what do you think of him and his draft prospects and where he'll play at the next level?
Slot corner. He's like 5'10", but finished his career with like 12 interceptions between 2 passive defenders. I think he's taken early second round. Like I say, I think he's considered that, he's respected that highly in the corner class. Could play outside, but I think ultimately, like I say, nickel, rover, bandit, whatever you want to call it, yeah, fringe first round talent. Like I say, supremely experienced, very talented in the last 2 years. He's put up some massive numbers from the best corners in the country. Like I say, yeah, he will definitely do well. He made, like say, he was in like the all second round teams this year. So he got a lot of national attention too, yeah. Definitely makes sense for him to come out this year. He's a huge loss.
ASU have been surprisingly depleted by the draft, haven't they? A lot of that secondary's gone. Raleigh Brown's gone.
Is going. Keyshawn Elliott, the linebacker. John Tyson, Raleigh Brown, the running back centering. Shamari Mateo, the tight end, is declared. We've already had like 7 players declare for the draft.
Yeah, so there's a lot of Arizona State players in the draft.
A lot of due talent. Raleigh Brown is going to be a serious sleeper in his running back class.
I mean, how many years in a row with that now as they've sent someone to the draft at running back? Like,
I think that would be like 6 running backs that go to play in the draft in like 5 years.
Yeah.
He was the second leading rusher in the Big 12, so he's definitely getting drafted.
I'm assuming is Udo going to be next year's guy? I thought Udo was meant to be the guy this year. Is he going to stay or go?
Well, we've got like a 3 or 4 star coming back in, but like you say, you've got Kyson Brown that was like the rotational backup. But yeah, Kanye Udo probably takes on more of a prominent role next year with Kyson Brown.
Unless they go to the like if they bring it, if they brought Joshua
I
Dye in there.
I do think they're going to bring someone in, yeah.
If they brought Joshua Dye in after his 1,900 yards for Southern Utah this year, Jesus Christ, he could.
Hollywood Smothers.
That's just rude.
I mean,
if that happens, me and you are going to fall out. Hollywood Smothers is going to a major program. I'm not saying you're not, but I mean, to be fair, if he does want to get drafted to the NFL, Arizona State is the place to go, right? You've taken guys from Sac State. I mean, where all these guys? Where did Scat came from? Sac State, didn't he?
Yeah.
You just take running backs from everywhere.
Galladay came from Wyoming. They just find loads of FCS and G5 guys and then turn them into 1,000-yard rushers.
Yeah, make them stars and into star NFL players. So, there you go. Kanye Udo, he'll be the guy next year. He's the Army guy from last year. He'll probably be the lead guy next year, you would think. Right, I think that is about everything. Last one from Brent. He goes, are service players allowed to declare as juniors? I don't know.
They have to apply.
Yeah.
For their junior year, don't they?
I think they might do. I mean, I guess they'll have to get the same waiver to delay their army service as
they
they
need
would.
Their waiver so they don't go straight into the forces. Because they're eligible to go straight into the armed forces after being a junior.
Yeah, so I think you can go as a junior. You've just got to get the clearance to delay it, no matter what you're drafting from.
Not a lot do, because not a lot are good enough. The last one I remember getting proper clearance was Keenan Reynolds.
Yeah.
He was the last good service junior, and he made it to the NFL.
Yeah. Let's say it's quite a rarity. I think Heidenreich's a C. I don't know if he's a junior. Is Heidenreich a? I don't know. I would have to check. I feel like he might be young, but I will have a little look on that one. Grandazza goes, ASU's Max Iannaccio, the tackle, is getting buzzed as the right tackle. Yep. Grandazza goes, thanks for the stream, lads. Needed this. Been having a few down days. Hey. Well, hopefully we've been able to improve your mood, Grandizer. We're always here. You can always message us on Facebook and everything. We're always happy to chat, so I'm glad we've been able to brighten your day up. Everybody struggles, but we're all here for one another. So, yeah, you have a good weekend, Grandizer. We'll see you, hopefully, for the Steelers preview. And you as well, Brent. Hope you're doing well. Christmas coming up, so we've got a lot to look forward to. But yeah, as I say, we're going to draft season. Any questions, any scouting, anything you want us to do, let us know. We will do it. I will try and get the centre video out this weekend. If not, it'll be done. It'll be done pre-Christmas. Let's just say that much, and then we'll see how it does. And if it does well, we'll maybe look at doing a few more going forward. But yeah, take care, each and every one of you. Have a lovely evening. Thanks to Rye, and we shall see you again soon.